Alright, we good to go?
Yep.
Alright. Hello, stream, chat, everybody who may be watching this in the future. It's 2020, so, you know, if you're watching this in 2022, you're a little late to the party. We've been doing these sessions for about 6 years, but...
You're such a liar. Appa, is this the part where you tell us you've been dead the whole time?
I was never alive to begin with.
Oh god.
Death is it's a temporary state.
Death is a phase.
Death is a phase. It's not a phase, Mom. Alright. I'm Apacolyps. Everybody just calls me Appa here, so feel free to call me Appa. I am the game master of this Savage Worlds for Pathfinder game. We'll be going over the rules shortly after everybody does an intro. Also on the screen, I sometimes go by Corn on the Cob, hence my little Corn on the Cob image over there.
Praise be to corn.
Praise be to corn. Alright, streamer.
Alright. Hi everyone, I'm the host, Type. I go by Typeiax on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. And today I will be playing Barry the Fairy. I've been looking forward to this one shot for a while. I'm very excited for it, and I hope that you all enjoy, whether you're watching it concurrently or in the future.
Well. I'm Ben, also known as Bdarkb on Twitch. You can find me based on twitch.tv/Bdarkb. Hey, let's plug myself real quick. Today I'll be playing Seraphina Lilos. I am a massive fan of role-playing games like D&D, and I am super stoked to be playing a one-shot again.
Hi everyone. I'm Linnie Winterheart, also known as Mod Lynn here on Type's channel. You can find me also on Twitch at Linnie Winterheart or Twitter at Lynn Winterheart. And I'm very excited to be playing Adelphi today.
Oh wait, it is me, okay. I'm Kekly. I'm playing It That Preaches. That's it.
No shouting at your own stream like everybody else did?
Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, okay, imagine tuning into Type stream and thinking, oh, Kekly's probably somewhat similar, and then you come to my stream, and you hear me say things I can't say on the stream, but let's just say it's not school appropriate.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm pretty sure one of my clips is literally me heckling a character in a game into crying and leaving. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's about right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm bad in calls when it's just us? You should see me on stream when there's no one around to, like, stop me from being just incredibly toxic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he plays League of Legends for anybody.
I don't stream League. I get too toxic in League. Also, I would probably get canceled if anyone saw anything I typed in League.
Yep.
I believe it. Alright, so we're gonna go over just some quick generalistic rules on the system, because I'm sure for many people this is their first time seeing the system, even if you've seen tabletop RPGs before. And then we'll pretty much just jump into it. So, Savage Worlds is a system designed on kind of like action, pulpy, very almost superhero-y or fantastical, where the characters are designed very much so to be heroes and to sort of tackle overwhelming odds. As such, the system is designed to give them a bunch of advantages that many of the other NPCs will not have, barring some like very unique or specific NPCs who get the same advantages. And if you've played D&D, it's a D20 based system where you roll a D20 and then add relevant modifiers. In this game, that's not the case. Basically, you have a series of attributes and skills which are all under the umbrella term trait. Say Type if you want to open your sheet so that people can see where, kind of like what these look like. But basically every single trait, which again is an attribute or a skill, will have an associated die with it. So it might be a D4, D6, D8. And basically, you'll roll that die, and you'll also roll a D6, taking the higher of the two. And the target number for pretty much everything in this game is just hitting a 4. If you hit a 4, you succeed. If you get 4 over the target number, or 8 in most of the cases, you get a raise, which is kind of like critting. The only times this isn't really true is usually combat, where you have to target some slightly other different numbers, which will be something we get into when it comes to combat. I think for the most part, that's typically how the game goes. Much of the other rules we'll kind of talk about as we get into the game. It is just important to be aware that you'll see slightly different numbers and rolls come out from individuals depending on what gets called upon. And as I said, the system wants the players to succeed, and by extension, whenever something happens and the players come up to it, oftentimes they try to look at one of their skills to figure out which one they want to use, and then try to make a case for it, whereas in D&D, oftentimes, it's the player tries to do something, and then the GM essentially tells them what needs to be done. In this game, it's often like, players be creative, come up with the solutions, and so long as I think it sounds reasonable, that's what we go with. Alright, so I won't explain the bennies because bennies do a whole bunch of stuff. Just know that bennies are a meta resource and every player has them. They're kind of cut off on the stream, but just basically know that I get 1 benny for every single player. So I have 4, and then every player has 3. These are a meta resource that is used for a variety of things: re-rolling, soaking damage, getting back power points, which is the sort of like a mana or a spell resource. It could be used to gather story-based items or things of that sort. You'll be seeing that happen a lot throughout this one-shot, and if you ever play the system, bennies are just like a perpetual resource that goes on all the time. But just for now, know that everybody starts with 3, although they will be getting 1 shortly. So, as for this one-shot, this is a wild sheep chase. This is not a one-shot that I have made. It's one that somebody else made, although I have adapted it to fit the system, and then also I've changed some of the creatures and things of that sort. It's actually a 5th edition free one-shot for anybody out there who might want it, and I believe it's for 3rd or 4th level. I have adapted it to 1st level in 5e, and then once again adapted it to 1st level in Savage Worlds for Pathfinder here. Wild Sheep Chase is, as the name implies, the players go on a wild sheep chase, although it's a little tongue-in-cheek, so it'll make more sense as we get in. The players themselves are a band of adventurers who travel much of the world as adventurers tend to do, taking on various tasks, usually combat-related, for the purposes of gathering money, fame, prestige, all those lovely things that adventurers like to do and risk their lives for. Really because they're probably insane. Nah, adventurers are crazy people. Anyone who says otherwise, out of their mind. So we'll go, I guess, one by one, sort of in the same way that we did our intros. We'll start with Type and work our way back through Kekly, with everybody introducing their character. The main thing is who is your character? And sort of why are you adventuring? Not necessarily what got you into it, but what keeps you here. Is it the fame? Is it the money? Is it the friends you made along the way? Is it the power of friendship? What drives you?
Okay. So I guess I'll start. I'm playing Barry the Fairy. Barry, short for Bennett Blue Jean Bronx. Actually named Barry Barrett Peppering. He is a fairy from a village, and he is a grandfather, father of 10 kids, absolutely insanely grumpy old man. But he has lived his life protecting this village and doing everything that he can, and now he finally wants to do something for himself. And the thing he wants to do for himself is get money. There's Barry. He has this obsession with collecting coins and shining them, and he just loves shiny things, and money is kind of like his driver to do this. And he's old, he's lived his life. He kind of figures like, what the heck, like, might as well pursue what I couldn't earlier in my life and do it now. He's like the get off my lawn kind of grandpa. So really excited to see how he's going to mesh with these other characters today.
All right. What class are you? And then I guess you also want to do a real quick intro for Oak.
Oh right. So Barry's a druid, and he has his companion Oak, who is a saber-toothed tiger. There's Oak. And Oak was found when Oak was tiny, and kind of abandoned when people who were attacking the village got fended off, and Oak was left behind. And so, Barry took Oak in because everyone else was afraid of Oak because Oak is so much larger than the fairies. So that's how we ended up with Oak. Named by Appa, by the way.
Yeah. Alright, next up, Seraphina.
Right, so I'm Seraphina Lilos. She is a fire Sagani, which basically means she looks humanoid, but she's in tune with the fire element, which you can definitely notice in her hair, which starts off with a dark red at the roots, but then turns to a lighter orange at the ends. She's got elven-like pointy ears, orange eyes. She's got very soft and clean-looking skin. And if you look closely to her feet, you can see like a little bit of steam coming off from her feet. She's got that typical dancer body. And when you look at her, you can notice she's wearing medium armor with a nice red trim. The reason why she is traveling and fighting is because she wants to prove herself, but not just to herself, but also to people she has currently left behind, and show them that her unique fighting style that she uses is the best sword fighting style there will ever be in this world. She's basically trying to gain fame and show off her strength, and that's why she's still going around.
Alright, and what class are you?
She is a cleric.
Perfect. Adelphi, you're up next.
So, Adelphi is Celestine, specifically associated with the goddess of freedom and luck. And she's relatively young for a Celestine woman, so she's on kind of a pilgrimage of sorts to kind of see what the mortal realm is like. But she ended up sticking with this group because she's ended up very loyal to these people that she came across. So she has ended up wanting to protect these people as much as she can. She is a little bit interesting in that she does not draw her powers actually from her goddess. She is a wizard, so she draws her powers instead from her knowledge because she is insanely curious about this mortal world and what they have figured out on their own. So she became a wizard.
Perfect. Alright, It That Preaches.
So, it doesn't talk a lot, not because it can't talk, or he's too shy to talk. It's because his vocabulary is extremely limited, because he grew up with the hive mind, right? So he didn't have to learn words. It was just simply told to him. And then one day the queen told him to go out and spread her word. So now it's going around, attempting to convert people to his hive mind religion. And yeah, that's about it.
Alright, what class are you?
Oh, he's cleric, by the way.
Perfect. All right. One of the things, real quick, for It That Preaches is that you have summon animal. I have quite a few animals that are already available for novice rank. I didn't prep them all, but I basically kind of prepped the good ones. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Give me anything bug related. I feel like that'll be funny.
All right. Yeah.
So you're telling me we prepared 2 clerics, a druid, and a wizard?
Oh,
Yep.
good.
I don't have any weapons. I just have a giant shield. So
Oh boy.
Yeah.
it's
this
a
is what-
spike shield. It's a spike shield, but it's
Don't
just
worry,
Going to
it's
go very far.
Seraphina has 4 weapons. She got 4 blades flying behind her at all times.
See?
Oh, okay.
Ben's
all
got
right.
me covered. I'm the shield. He's the sword.
Oh yeah, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have everyone create their characters in complete and utter isolation.
Mhm.
You've ended up with 4 casters.
That's a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, despite that, I think y'all are actually pretty well rounded. It'll make more sense, I think, is once some other like combat and things break out, you guys have actually spread yourselves pretty well. All right, but yeah, continuing on. Amongst your travels, you guys have gone on a few adventures. You really just started your adventuring life after having banded together, because going out into the adventuring world alone is dangerous. And you've taken a few odd jobs, just hunting things here and there, not really making too much, although of course making more than what your average person would for ultimately a life-threatening job. The hazard pay is kind of implied for such wonderful deeds. And as adventuring groups do, you've gone about traveling, and you guys are in the Thistlewood Village, which is a village that gets its name because, of course, it is near the Thistlewood, which is a relatively large forested area. Most of the individuals of this village don't particularly opt to go too far into the forest, as there are many creatures that are there, and there isn't ultimately much that is had. The people keep themselves in their farming life, although for a village it's pretty sizable. There's about 400 plus people in here. So getting through still takes a while, and you guys are staying as you do, kind of trying to see like if anybody might need help or whatever the case may be. And of course, in a village like this, when you guys show up actually having gear, it's pretty obvious who you are and what it is that you do. Even much of the guards of villages are pretty thin, and they're not even really full-time guards much of the time, right? They might be farmers who, you know, just have made a spear or something along the lines for certain aspects of the day. But really, the village tends to be overall pretty fine. The dangers don't tend to make themselves here. But, you know, you've got to go everywhere as an adventurer and take all the jobs you can, especially when starting out. Otherwise, you don't really have a reputation and nobody seeks you out personally. You guys have been here for a couple of days now, just meandering, you know, trying to hear any rumors or inquiring about, seeing if anybody would recognize that you guys are adventurers and what you do and actively seek you out. You're staying in at the only sort of inn of this place, and for the most part, things in this place are kept pretty tidy. You'll tend to get a lot of the villagers who come here in the evening to have drinks and party and things of that sort. It's the fresh morning, and you're just being provided breakfast as you have been in this place. There's a bunch of chatter that's going on from the other people who have made their way here. It functions much kind of like a diner/inn type thing, where the owners offer both food and respite, although the resting part tends to only be for the occasional individuals such as yourselves. People enjoy coming here just for the food mainly, and the social aspect before it's time to really hit the morning and go do their daily jobs. So, everybody is enjoying themselves a good breakfast. Out of curiosity, everybody here I guess, well, does It That Preaches eat just like traditional foods?
He eats whatever's in front of him. He don't care.
Classic, okay. Just checking. Everybody here just eats generalized foods. No one here is like a vegetarian or vegan or anything.
Barry is a vegetarian.
I would think that Adelphi is also vegetarian as well.
Okay.
What kind of silverware is here? Is it like all wooden?
Yeah, it's all woodenware. This is, I mean, even though it's a relatively large village as far as villages are concerned, overall, it's still, you know, there really isn't too much that these people interact with. There's a local river nearby that they source all their water, and they're sort of self-reliant for the most part. But yeah, the overall, like, the people here tend to just do their own lives, rely very intensely on farming for their goods. Not many people even really go into the forest to hunt for some of the creatures that might be there.
Okay. I'd like to imagine it's also eating the silverware while he's at it.
Yeah, I think if you've been here a few days, maybe you've been here a couple, I imagine that there's probably like the first time you ate some of the woodenware.
It's not his fault. They make such good tasting plates. He just can't stop himself.
Yeah, I imagine that their solution, like, they probably would have tried to convince you, and you would just be like, yeah, for sure, and then just ate it anyway. And then at a certain point, it's just like, all right, like, you're just gonna pay, like, you're paying for food. I guess in this case, the food on the plate and the plate is food, and as such has to be paid for. For the most part, though, you guys have enough money. You know, the meals are generally in like coppers or silvers, and your currencies often tend to be paid in gold. So, you know, paying an extra few coppers for a plate is whatever to It That Preaches.
He is one with nature now.
Yeah, and so once again, you guys are enjoying your casual morning meals, sort of deliberating amongst yourselves, and you start to hear a commotion going on outside of this inn. You can start hearing the people. There's like some shouting. Normally you hear the sounds of like people getting ready for work, moving stuff, you know, the sounds of footsteps as people are walking around the village and carrying stuff or talking to each other. And you start hearing some shouting. It sounds like the people outside are pretty startled. Startled, shocked, you know, the various descriptors there are. And pretty soon after you guys hear this, and you know, might have a curious case of what's going on, one of the doors to this place gets just shoved open, and you see
Oh my gosh.
There is something up with this guy, isn't there?
Yeah, so immediately as this sheep just, you know, shoves the door open, you can see in its mouth, it's got this rolled up piece of parchment, and it immediately takes a look around the room, and you can see a lot of the other people that are in here have kind of stopped eating, yourselves included, and just look at the sheep like, what's happening? And as it sort of scans the room, you see it notices the five of you, and very rapidly, what does sheep do? They don't really trot.
Well, you know, they do a little skipping.
Okay, with a little hop and a skip in its step, it ganders its way over to y'all. I'm gonna roll 1d4, and I guess we'll go Adelphi 1, It That Preaches to You, Seraphina 3, Barry 4. 3. Alright, Seraphina. You see the sheep comes up to you, and it tries to, I believe, bleat is what sheep do, right? It's the ba
Yep.
noise or whatever. I think that's what it's called.
They believe.
And it's got this parchment in its mouth, and you can see it's like immediately you recognize that there's something going on with the sheep. It feels very much so as it is trying to communicate with you.
Well, hello there, little one, I say as I grab the parchment from its mouth. I then turn to it that preaches, and I say to him, well, if you're still hungry, looks like some more food's arrived for you. As I point towards the sheep, and then I open up the parchment.
Now that you've taken out the parchment of its mouth and you say that it's bleeding gets very frantic and it looks rather shocked, as though it understands you.
It that preaches is gonna reach in his bag and pull out another parchment with the little seal on it. He's gonna try to give it to the sheep. He doesn't comprehend what can and can't read, so he's assuming the sheep can read.
The sheep just looks at it. So for the record, is this parchment a like furled up one that is also sealed?
Yes.
I think it would look at it and then boop its nose on the seal, trying to sort of imply like, how do I open this?
It does not comprehend what's going on. He just tries to give it to it again.
Yeah, you can see the sheep just looks at you. Seraphina, you unfurl this scroll. And being a cleric, you immediately realize that this is, it's not particularly a letter or anything of that sort. This is a magical scroll. On it, it has, it's a modified power, and it is a power with which gives the individual and other individuals within 10 feet the ability to speak with animals.
Well, this is interesting, I say to the others. And I look at the sheep real quick. I'm like, I say to the sheep, do I have to do something with the scroll to activate it, or can I already understand you?
Yeah, so you'd have to cast from the scroll. I don't know if you want to get everybody in it, but if you do, I mean, in this instance, it's gonna be an auto success. The odds of failure are so low, and even if you do fail, it doesn't ruin the scroll, so you can just try again until you succeed. So.
I'll turn to Barry real quick. I'm like, how well do you think you know your cat?
I like to think I know my cat well.
Say its favorite color is.
Why do I need to know its favorite color?
Well, we're gonna test out your understanding.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Oak likes green.
Alright. Then I will activate the spell that's on the parchment, and I will include everyone on the table here.
Alright, yeah, so you cast the scroll, it goes off without a hitch, and immediately, I don't think Oak would immediately... I guess this is a question for Hype over there. What do you think Oak's personality is? Like, it is a saber-toothed tiger. You know, we're kind of adopting some cat traits here. Do you think Oak is very, like, hyperactive cat? Do you think Oak is, I want to sleep 16 hours a day?
I think Oak is a very energetic, hyperactive cat. Like, very excitable.
Mm-hmm. Does Oak eat at the table?
Yeah, Oak sits next, like, Barry sits on Oak to eat, to reach the table.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, the first thing that, now that you guys are able, and much of the other patrons in this place are still looking on at, like, this group of adventurers has shown up, and now all of a sudden there's a sheep that's going on that's, like, delivering some letters or something. Like, this is not a common occurrence of this village. And as you do your incantations and read off the scroll, immediately the bleeding from the sheep ceases as all of you are able to understand, and with a sort of both excitement and a bit of a like frantic tinge in the voice. I really hope I didn't mess this up. You guys are the adventurers who just came into this town, right?
That's
Yes,
us.
we are.
Perfect. I need your assistance. Like, immediately.
Yes, well, what can we help you with?
Alright, so obviously, I'm not a sheep. But I don't know if that's obvious. For the record, I'm not a sheep. This is a temporary state. And by temporary, I mean it's been like 2 years. But temporary hopefully ends soon. And not like soon as in like the actual like, yeah, you know, soon. But it's actually going to be like 5 years. Like soon as in hopefully within a few days if you guys are willing to help me out. I would say I have coin, but as you can see, sheep, I have no pockets, no pouch. But you revert me, we can discuss that.
What exactly got you turned into a sheep?
My assistant.
Your
Previous
assistant?
ex-assistant, old assistant. Yeah, so I am a wizard who specializes in the study of polymorphing, obviously with a focus on transforming creatures into other creatures, not so much creatures into objects or objects into creatures, although maybe one day I can get involved in that. It's a little hard to do when you're a sheep. No thumbs. I don't know if you're aware, and it kind of like lifts up one of its legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my assistant, I don't know. He was so talented, and I guess he was not a fan of. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. He's gotten a little crazy as of recently. He did take my wand of polymorphing, and well, this kind of happened, and I've been trapped in my residence. Although he claims it's his, but it's fine. He just turned me into a sheep, and then. Do I still have rights on my own house as a sheep? I don't know. Anyway, I'm a sheep. He stole my wand. I need to get my wand back and then stop being a sheep, go back to being a wizard. Then once I'm back as a wizard, and I have my house back, I can pay you guys. All my money's back in my house. I snuck out earlier today. They've been keeping me there. His guards, who, I guess I should also tell you, people are coming for me, like, soon. So we gotta figure out what's gonna happen here, like, as soon as possible. They're also
Okay.
animals like me, for the record.
This sounds exciting. Like,
There are
we've
more
got nothing
like
to
that?
do.
Yeah, well, not other sheeps. There's like, there's like hyenas, bears, all that stuff.
Oh, okay. And they're coming after you, right?
Yes. I'm sure that they will have realized that I escaped at some point, and almost assuredly will be heading into the village because, I mean, that's really, for the record, my house is in the forest. So this is the nearest place I could run to, and I heard that there were adventurers here. Funny enough, did you know that if you get polymorphed into an animal, you can speak with other animals despite, like, you would think apes have their own languages and, like, bears have their own language. No, we can all just talk to each other.
Very strange.
Yeah, I would have never guessed, but hey, that's why we study these things.
Seraphina stands up, looks at the others and is like, well, we might as well help him. We've got nothing to do. We've not done anything for a few days now. I think it's time we get to work. And I turned to the sheep and I was like, but can you please keep a bit more quiet, because you talk a whole lot.
And you just see Oak is over there, just like still devouring their lunch. And I don't think Oak has particularly realized that you guys can understand. And then after a while of just being like, oh, weird, sheep has come in. And I imagine Oak has its own plate that they are eating from.
Yes.
And finally, like, stops munching. And has kind of realized, like, oh, everybody's actually talking to the sheep. Because Oak and Barry, or Oak and the sheep can understand each other. And Oak looks over at Barry like, Can you hear me?
Oak?
Berry?
Oh my. You can talk.
Yeah, you can talk.
Have you not been able to understand me?
No? I mean, I get the... what would it be? Like, the way that you say things based on the way you've said them before helps, but the meaning of the words is lost. It's more like learning by repetition. Although, you can understand me and I can understand you.
Yes.
This is weird.
This is very weird.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this yet. We'll figure it out. Can they hear me? Is Oak like
Yes.
kind of gestures to the other?
Oh yeah, we
yes,
can.
Adelphi is literally just sitting with her like hand in her palm, like just staring as this conversation is happening, just like so fascinated by them being able to speak to each other for the first time.
Yeah, you can see for the first time, Oak feels. You definitely get this feeling like Oak feels awkward. It's not sure. You guys have always communicated in like essentially like a very simplistic, very directive sort of language, and now you guys are actually able to speak normally.
Mm-hmm.
And as like this conversation is going on, once again, you guys hear the people outside. There's once again another commotion, much louder, that is going on, and that commotion gradually starts getting louder and louder as it makes its way to you guys. And soon the door opens. Unlike our good old sheep over there, does not open with force or excitement. It just opens up as much as a normal person would who is attending this place. And you see coming in is an orc. And as the orc starts walking in, you immediately see that the orc is being followed and flanked by really just a hodgepodge of creatures. It's got these very hyena-esque creatures that are tailing it, as well as a couple of bears that are also following suit. And very quickly, you start to see this place get filled now with substantially more animals. And you see the sheep starts hiding behind you guys, and you hear him go, that's them. They're not animals. They're people like me. They've also been polymorphed. Just a heads up. So they're not like animal smarts. They're people smarts in animals. And this orc walks over. Overall, pretty well-camped individual. Got some gear on and a great sword at their back. And does another scan around the room and sees the sheep and makes his way over to your group. And you can see the other hounds here just kind of keep their distance a little, and much of the individuals of the various patrons at this point have like stopped eating and are kind of just like looking around like, this is a lot of excitement for today. And you can see like some people are like who have finished their food are like, we don't know what's happening, but this is awkward. We don't want to be here, and start getting up and like scooting their way along the wall to get to the door and just ease their way out.
Adelphi has put herself between the orc and the sheep. Just put her full body in between, and it's like trying to hide the sheep as much as possible. Although she like knows conceptually that like they know the sheep's there.
So
Yeah.
this orc has a big sword on his back, right?
Yeah.
And well, in that case,
So I
Seraphina
can
is gonna walk
actually,
up straight to the orc, if anything.
there's an image of the orc. And as he sees you guys putting yourselves in between him and the sheep, you can see he kind of like stops his pacing and keeps his distance, and it's just like, I'm not sure what it is that you're doing, but that sheep is the property of Mr. Doak, and I intend to take it back.
I assume that's your employer?
Yes. Mr. Nook is rather wondrous and kind individual, and unfortunately we left the gate open this morning, and our sheep has managed to escape. So we would like to bring it back, please. You can tell that Gus does not know that you guys are like able to communicate. As far as like he is concerned, this just feels almost like what you'd expect of like a Houndmaster, or much like Barry and Oak, right?
What's in it for us if we give him back?
It's just the kind thing to do, right? Our sheep has escaped. It feels a little weird to hold it hostage.
No reward?
Just so you know, we're not holding it hostage. If anything, we've been sort of hired to take it back there anyway, so why don't you move on and you'll see the sheep soon?
I'm not sure who would have hired you. Really, it's just me and Noak at the estate. We don't come into the village particularly often. You can see he kind of like reaches down in his pouch and pulls out some coins and kind of shuffles them, and goes over to the table and sets down some coins. It's like 5 silvers. Yeah, I don't know why you guys are being particularly difficult here, but there's some money. I mean, I guess I will thank you for holding on to our sheep for us, but I'll be taking it back now.
Can it pick up the sheep and hold it like a baby?
Yeah.
Alright, it's gonna do that.
Alright. You get, and the sheep immediately is like, what are you doing?
And it's holding it like a baby, and he's sitting there staring at the orc, like you can see the gears turning in his brain as he goes, I deliver.
There's no reason. Like, you guys deliver it to me. I'm right here. If you want to deliver it, that's fine. Deliver it like 10 steps, and then we're done here.
I sheep-like.
Oh, well, that's rather nice. Yeah, I mean, we like the sheep as well. But, I mean, we gotta make sure it's safe. It is a part of our property, so...
I safe.
You safe.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the village. I guess you are safe. Can I have the sheep and go?
I deliver.
Yes, deliver to me right here. You can see he kind of has like his arms out, like, are you carrying it to bring it to me for me to carry it?
I keep sheep. I deliver.
Seraphina will go towards the exit door of the inn they're in, like the place where they're eating, and she'll hold it open and she'll say to it like, well, then why don't we go? I say to it, let's go deliver it.
And it starts walking towards the door with the sheep.
Yeah, you can see like as you start walking towards the door, holding the sheep, Gus like immediately stands in front of you, and it's like, hey, I don't know where you're trying to take our sheep.
I take for you.
Are we all walking together? You don't even know where
you work hard. I take sheep.
Hey, I've got orders to bring the sheep back.
I got sheep. I bring back. You sit.
No.
Relax. Yes.
You can see he's just like, he looks back behind him, sees Seraphina holding the door, and looks at the other animals that are in tow, and you can see like one of the bears kind of just like lets off a shrug, so they're not entirely sure what to do. Oak just kind of looks back and was like, it's so weird to understand. Is this how you normally do things?
Yeah.
Generally, yes.
What a weird conversation. And Gus is just back like, this is a very awkward circumstance. You can see he's like thinking about what to do. He's like, I mean, I guess we can go back together in tow, but I mean, it is our estate. Like, you guys won't be coming onto the property.
Yes.
All right, this is a weird one. I don't know what your obsession is with carrying the sheep. Just don't hurt it. You're a big fella, okay?
It's gonna pat the sheep's back like he's trying to burp a baby.
The sheep immediately responds, "Don't do that."
It's gonna do it again.
You can see like the sheep starts fidgeting around, and as Gus goes to turn around and like leave, you can see he's like, doesn't look like he's enjoying that, and then
He
starts
loved
making
it.
his way to the door.
I want you to know that Barry has pocketed the money that he put down. Like,
What?
immediately, as soon as the money was put down on the table, Barry pocketed
This
it.
brings up an interesting point about a fairy, which I guess is like, you're the size. I don't remember if Tiny is the size of a house cat or even smaller. Like, how many coins can Barry feasibly even hold onto?
Not many.
I'm sure he also has a pouch on Oak as well to hold coins.
That
You know,
makes sense.
Atlas, that's Barry. Except instead of the world is coin.
Yep.
You're just like, oh, quick, come over, and you just like start funneling. Oh, just like hovers over with the pouch slightly leaning off the table as you just like scoot all of them in.
Yep.
You just hear the sound of like coins clinking as they all fall into the pouch.
Yep.
And yeah, so Gus starts making his way out of the tavern, and the other animals follow suit, and everybody sort of follows along. Yeah, and so of course, well, I don't know how weird I guess it would be to speak with a sheep or how much you want to lead on, but the sheep will sort of continue talking with you guys. Although obviously replying and talking as though you're having a conversation with the sheep is gonna be there's a little some awkward happening there. But yeah, he will continue. Well, this is awkward. Yeah, so Nope is my assistant. That's the guy that he was talking about. Gus got hired shortly after. Gus isn't like one of my people, it's one of his people. He's been hiring people after he turned me into a sheep. And has been converting them. He likes Gus, I guess. I don't know why he didn't turn him. Well, I guess to be fair, Gus is pretty good with a greatsword. It'd be useless to turn him into like a bear or something who can't hold it. Anyway, I am Finithir Shinebright. I guess we haven't really done intros. Hi, wizard from the forest. Finithir is the name, and for the record, I have no intention of keeping these people. So whatever happens to them, kind of happens to them. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're not my employees, so.
Why do they seem to be content with being animals?
Oh, so the reason being is, my understanding is they're not really trained. Gus was trained, and that's why he gets hired, and that's why he gets to stay a person. But the rest of them, Like, a person with a pitchfork isn't really that strong, but, like, a bear is.
But they don't want to be turned back into their old selves?
Well, I've overheard their conversations. It was sort of an awkward thing, but it's part of what they're paid for. They get paid to stay as animal bodyguards, requires a bit less training, and for the most part, it seems like when they get turned, they feel very uncomfortable for the first few, like, days or weeks. But then, honestly, even I have kind of gotten a little comfortable as a sheep, except for the part where I can't do research or get into my house, study any magic, cast any spells. But that's because I already had a skill set before I got turned into a sheep, and I got turned into a sheep that can't do anything. For much of these individuals, their job is to be bodyguards and fight, and they get turned into animals that are better at fighting than they are. So it's kind of like an upgrade. And it's also what they get paid for, and that's really what they're here to do.
It's gonna point at himself. He goes, "Make me?
Make you?
Make me? Staff? Make me?"
Why is this guy still carrying me?
I like wool.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. He can understand me. Yeah, does everybody just kind of like casually walk along with the individuals here?
Yeah.
Y'all aren't trying to start anything or be fancy?
No, I'm not trying to start anything, but I think Adelphi is going to actually, like, start flying overhead to just gonna get a survey of, like, where they're going. Because they've been here for a few days, but obviously the, like, estate has to be outside of town, so
Yeah, I mean,
she
if
doesn't
you
know
want,
exactly where they're
someone
going.
here can give me a common knowledge roll to see if you have heard anything about the town on this individual.
We'll go ahead.
Right, yeah, so once again, just for anybody watching, whenever they roll, they'll roll 2 die. One of those is their trait die, which is something that they can boost up, and then they will also roll a d6, which is known as the wild die. This is something that players get, and they're technically what's known as wild cards, which is essentially just important individuals. They will roll whatever their trait die is. They will also roll a d6 and then take the higher of the 2. Once again, they're just trying to hit a 4, so the highest was her trait die, which was a 5. She hit a 4, which is a success. Yeah, so this village doesn't particularly have any individuals of, like, magical note, with the exception of Finithir, who is used to come into the village. Obviously has not for a while, and as such, like, his stories are kind of fading and trailing. The new caster, Noak, who's kind of taken over the place, doesn't really involve himself with the village all that much. So many of the people are not, like, really aware of who this Noak individual is. But there is some talk about the town that every now and again goes off of, like, this wizard guy who would show up, who would sometimes buy stuff, looking for herbs from some individuals, buying foods and goods and things of that sort, and hasn't really come about. But some people do go into the forest, whether that's for, like, lumber or foraging. Some individuals do go in there for the purposes of hunting, because there are wild animals, deer and things of that sort that are in there. As such, it's kind of deep into the forest. Overall, it's about, like, 3/4 of a mile into the forest is where Finithir and I guess now Noak's establishment is. And it's gotten to the point where, like, people just don't really go there. Not that, like, Finithir would, like, really shoot people or get aggressive, but there's really nothing to be had there, and Finithir very heavily focuses on his work and doesn't really like people particularly, like, trespassing or whatever. It's not like, get off my yard or I'm gonna cast bolts at you, but it's just like, hey, you just showed up on my property. That's kind of not cool to do, especially because there's a big old forest here, and you happen to choose the one place that's mine.
I will be right back.
Yep, no worries.
Well, while we're still walking, Seraphina will ask the sheep, so, are there any other entrances into your abode than just the front gate?
Well, it's actually like a treehouse type situation. So, that one kind of like nudging with its head because, well, I guess technically, he would like kind of like point like those two, pointing over at Barry and Adelphi. It's like they could, I guess, fly up. The house is like separated into different sections that are held up with trees. But like they would be able to get up there pretty easily. For much of the other people though, there's like a wooden bridge paths that you kind of have to trek along. So for you, it might be a little awkward.
Right. And where are you being kept?
So there is like a little sort of stable section that goes on, that has been made for my keeping. They move me around every now and then, obviously. Dude, do you know what it's like to eat grass? Like to be a person and then have to eat grass for like the rest of your diet forever? Horrible. Anyway, sorry, I get lost in thought. I haven't actually had the opportunity to talk to people that are not keeping me locked up in a while. So sometimes I kind of just get lost in the conversational part.
Yeah, I noticed. So, what would be the easiest way for us to go and get your staff and then come and get you and transform you back? Or can you transform yourself back if you get your staff? Or
No, one of you would have to do that.
right, and I'm assuming that your apprentice, well, ex-apprentice, is keeping that staff safely on him.
Yeah, well, it was my prized possession. It's where I kind of got all of my fame from. He's stolen it, and as such, I guess now he would consider it his fame, although obviously it's mine. He's, whatever. But yeah, it's gonna be within the residence, and I imagine, well, I guess he knows that I escaped. I don't know if he'll still keep it in the residence or keep it on his person, whichever he feels is safer.
Well, I turn to the others and we can either sneak in and try to secretly steal it, or we can go in swords blazing. No,
He's gonna raise his hand.
You just raise your hand?
Yeah, he just raises his hand like he has a question.
Yeah,
No sword.
Your case, shield blazing.
Wait, am I still holding the sheep?
I mean, the sheep can't really get out of it, so unless you put it down, it doesn't
I'm still holding the sheep.
really have a say in the matter. Yeah, it's a sheep. Like, it's not that strong. It's probably a little awkward to carry, but I think overall, like, there's, like, what's it gonna do, right? Especially since you guys are actually offering your assistance. It's not like Finithir's gonna go and, like, bite you because he's upset you're carrying him. Yeah, he kind of has a stake in not upsetting you guys.
This is my child now. That's the only question it had.
Gotcha. It was just whether or not you're carrying the sheep.
No, it was no sword.
Gotcha.
So, Adelphi,
His
Barry,
question was no sword.
Adelphi,
doesn't
Barry, what do you
understand.
think?
I say whatever's easiest.
I don't think that going in, swords blazing is the best path. I think it might be best for us to try to make our way inside somewhat more organically. maybe we can speak to him. And I'm sure because, no one in this village ever really, speaks to him, that if someone comes around curious about, what fun and exciting things he's up to, as someone who wants fame, maybe he'll let us inside.
I think there at this point we'll also pipe up. So, as I imagine at this point, you guys have like left the inn and are starting to make your way out of the village. By the way, we've got a slightly decent walk ahead of us. That spell that I cast lasts like 10 minutes. So conversation's about to end pretty soon. I haven't been keeping track of time. I don't know if y'all have.
No.
No, we had no idea.
You didn't tell us anything.
Yeah, there was a priority. People were after me. I also needed to get you guys on board with helping me out. But yeah, we probably got a few minutes left.
So what do you think? Do you think that would work? Do you think that we could convince him that we were curious about his studies? I mean, it's not much of an act for me. I am very curious about what things do mortal wizards get up to.
I don't know. I think if you were to have a conversation, it'd probably be a shouting one with him from the tree and you guys down here. I'm not sure he would be on board, especially since you guys kind of like adamantly wanted to show up over here. Like, there might be a conversation that occurs. I don't know if you're gonna get inside his house. Well, my house. I would let you in. I guess technically, if all you need is permission, you have my permission to go inside my house.
I mean...
Now, whether or not Noke will like that, that's a different story.
Any secret hidden keys?
Well, not really, but honestly, the doors aren't particularly that reinforced. I think, this one holding me could probably just, like, kick one in. Which, honestly, is whatever. I could just, like, magic about it. I can fix it whenever I'm back to being a person. But, yeah, Noke is the only one who stays in his residence. The other animals, and even Gus, have other areas that they stay at, so... If Noke doesn't even let his bodyguards in his house, I don't know what the likelihood of you guys getting in is.
Then we
Is
break
there a
in.
window? Sorry, Barry.
Then we should break in, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Is there a window into his residence, by any chance?
Well, looking at it, the answer to that is a no, but I think that the walls would be soft enough that with like a hard enough hit, you could probably... I mean, he's essentially hollowed out sections of a tree and then sort of built on top of it. The walls themselves are basically just kept sturdy enough to keep this place afloat. And of course with the help of like the bridges and posts to help keep it up. But overall the house has to be relatively light, right? Like it's built floating.
Soft walls.
Soft walls.
Soft walls.
Soft walls.
It can break.
Yeah, but breaking in would make a lot of noise. I'd prefer it if we could all get inside quietly.
Yes, I think that is probably the better way to go.
It no break?
Not
We
for
can
now.
still break, but...
We'll keep it as a backup plan, if that's alright.
So, no break.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I will also say, you have my permission to sort of like break to get it and do it everything, but also keep the breaking to a minimum. Like I actually do still have to live in it when y'all are done.
Hit no break.
You can break a little, just not break a lot.
Mm.
You're young. You can always make another house.
Oh, just looks over at you, Barry. He's like, "What's it like to fly?"
It's a burden.
But
Adelphi just looks weirdly over at Barry, like,
I don't use my legs enough. They've
yeah, I
gotten
guess
weak.
you use my legs. Huh.
Yes.
You
Very-
do magic. If you were to make yourself bigger, could you carry me and then I fly? Could you make me fly? Is that just like a thing you can do?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know if I want to fly. The ground is pretty steady.
There's many things in the air that can get you.
I also get many things in the air. Birds.
Barry just nods. Remembers all the times that Barry had to go apologize to the forest for Oak killing another bird.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes those cat instincts just kick in.
Wait, how big is Oak?
Oak is the biggest individual here. Oak is size 1, which I think everybody here is size 0 with the exception of Barry, who's like size -4.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Oak is quite a bit bigger than everybody else here.
So cute, but so big.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been twirling a pen, side note, and I went to put it in my mouth to type something, and the ink has leaked out the back, and I just drank some ink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yum.
scrumptious.
Oh. Alright, to help me out with this, I'm gonna redeem a hydrate real quick.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Alright, gotcha.
Run hydrate.
Well, that's the end of the one shot. The GM ink poisoned themselves.
It was a sad day. We will remember Appa fondly. Praise be corn.
Praise be to corn.
Praise be the court.
Crispy corn.
They have a tummy ache now. Can't continue the one shot.
Stretch.
And now I gotta stretch?
Yeah, so Oak is about 6 feet tall and is like 800 pounds.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
He big.
Yeah.
He do be big.
That's why Barry sits on him all the time.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm imagining like a fucking He-Man with the Green Tiger.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Very
real quick, for anybody who might be watching this system, Oak is a saber-toothed tiger, which is from the Fantasy Companion. In case anybody out there wanted to like look up the stat blocker and see what we're referring to.
We'll just pull up the picture of Oak again.
There you go, more Oak.
Praise be cat.
Crispy cat.
Praise be
Beautiful, lovely cat.
Dude, he looks like a dinosaur. Is that a Catosaurus Rex?
Yup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a fantastical world. You know, the cats are a little magical.
They be dino.
Alright, so I think with this point, the spell has run out. You guys have left the village. As such, Oak has been reduced to meows. And Finnedeer has been reduced to some bleeding. All things considered, Finithir can still like understand and nod, but you guys would have to like very awkwardly try to interpret what he would be saying back. And Oak is just back to, going about their business.
Yeah.
And so you guys leave the village. Gus and the animal squad in tow. Finithir at this point has given up on trying to get out because it seems like nobody cares that he's being carried. And if y'all don't care, he has no say in the matter. And so, you guys continue about trekking into the forest. Out of curiosity, is anybody like during sort of this trek trying to do anything or anything that I need to know about? I guess.
Well, Seraphina is keeping a very close eye on the orc at all times.
Yeah, he is walking ahead, basically leading the way to back to Noak's tower.
Yeah, just if he does anything suspicious, I will have noticed it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Are the animals walking by us?
Yes.
It's gonna pet one of the animals as he walks.
As you hold on, which are you trying to pet? Hyena or bear?
I feel like a bear. I feel like a bear would be a good one.
Hold on. I'm gonna see how the bear responds to this. Alright, so they like notice you approaching, and you can see the bear kind of like takes some steps away from you, and you can see it's just like side-eyeing you, like what's happening here? Like, and so as you get closer, the bear starts to get like slightly further away from the group. Like, no, that's not happening.
Friend, it says as he keeps on getting closer.
You hear it roar a bit, and at this point, you can like some of the other animals are also letting off their noises, and Gus looks back. It's like, we're not touching you. Please don't touch us. That's not cool.
Soft.
You can see like the bear just with its hind leg just reaches it up and starts trying to like push you back.
It will yes.
Sounds like it.
Is Barry riding on Oak, or are you flying?
I think Barry, when they were exiting the town, was flying, but now he wants to ride on Oak.
Gotcha. Them old bones can't be too active these days.
Nope.
What is Adelphi on the ground, or is Adelphi flying?
Adelphi's flying.
How high up are you?
Probably not that far up. I would say about like 10 feet.
Oh, okay. So you're just like slightly hovering above the ground.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, and so you guys continue about your travels for a little bit. And eventually, Gus at the front stops, and much of the animals kind of stop after. And Gus turns around and goes, alright, this is as far as needed. You can give me the sheep now. We're basically almost here. You see it's looking over at you,
No.
What do you mean, no? You were to deliver. That's what I paid you for? I still don't understand why I paid. But you have now delivered
No.
Does he know how this? Do y'all know how like a delivery works? I'm not the weird one here.
Oh, he's very diligent about his work. He wants to make sure it's delivered there properly. Like,
Yes,
he's gonna
yes.
go all the way.
I mean, I, in this case, am the employer. Your job is really just to satisfy my needs.
No.
Remember,
I've
you're
never
not the only
hired
employer.
adventurers before. Is this... I feel like this is like classic, I pay you to do a job, you do the job, and then we go our separate ways?
Soft baby could die from here to there. I bring there.
I mean, there's more of us than there are of you. I think the sheep is safer.
No, I bring there.
What even is this guy?
He is a little odd, but that's why we keep him around.
I am it that preaches. I bring there.
You know, I hang around animals all day. Honestly, I can't critique. But
Exactly.
with that said, yeah, I don't... Noak didn't give me permission to let you guys onto the estate. I'm
Get
not
it.
gonna be the one to get in trouble. Just pass along the sheep.
Nope. Get
You
it,
guys-
get it. Get what you need.
Well,
I bring
then
sheep.
go get permission, young one.
Mm-hmm. Permission.
I mean,
What is happening?
really, and Adelphi's gonna land now. It's like, really, I mean, I would really like to speak with the wizard here. I've heard some goings on about what he's researching and what he's done, and I'm just very curious as to what's going on. Yeah, as a wizard myself.
Mr. Noak has not told me of any interest he might have in meeting any of you, so I wouldn't get your hopes up. I will say, at this point, somebody give me a persuasion to see if we can convince Gus to go ask Noak to let you guys onto his establishment.
Alright, who wants to do it? Because I'm pretty sure, yep, I got horrible persuasion. I got negative persuasion. Holy fuck.
I have a +2 to persuasion because I'm very attractive. So.
Well, there you go. You go for it.
But I just love that statement. Yeah, my persuasion really good because I'm attractive.
I hide.
If- as a Celestine, you get the very attractive edge, and it means that you get a +2 to persuasion and performance.
It's just for everyone or only the opposite gender?
It's
everyone.
Well, it's anyone
Oh,
who would
okay.
consider you attractive.
So,
So,
yeah, there you go.
yeah.
my
If you
persuasion.
were like speaking with animals, you probably wouldn't get the +2 when talking with the animals or something, right? Like, or if you're talking with someone who, you know, is not interested in whatever your orientation is. But yeah, for the most time, right? It works. Yeah, you can see
+6.
Gus is like, look, okay, stay here, give me a bit, I'll go talk with Mr. Noak, we'll see what he says, but if I come back and he isn't interested in meeting, then I get the sheep and we both go our separate ways and we call this a done deal, which is really how it should be going. This is, you guys are making these complicated, but I don't hang around with adventurers. You guys are whatever.
Thank you very much.
All right, and you see he starts walking off, and the other animals kind of just like go and plop themselves somewhere, make themselves, you know, as comfortable as they can.
All right, what's the plan now?
Soft baby mine.
Soft baby mine.
Soft baby mine.
Well, there's still all these animals around us.
No, I don't like that.
Oh, I
We
d-
could just take them out right now if we want to.
Okay.
While the orc isn't here, I mean, they're not gonna be that much of a force. I'm
Animals
assuming,
break.
so-
Soft baby love don't.
We could just take those out now. I'm assuming they can understand us while we don't have the spell active.
I mean, Finithir can understand you. For the record, they still have the language, right? They still have their old previous smarts, so they can understand, assuming you're speaking a language that they understand, but they don't have the ability to speak it back. They don't have, like, the same vocal cords
Gotcha.
and whatnot. Yeah. So
Then I'll
Finithir
look for
is
that.
able to understand, is able to, like, nod and whatnot, but... I mean, they're not, like, right on you guys. They're basically... all the animals here are following Gus's lead, and Gus has decided to, potentially take a more diplomatic option. So they're just like, if he trusts you guys enough to leave us here with you, then we're all just gonna sit down and make sure you don't do anything too funky. But they're not like right up on you or anything.
How many are there?
There's 2 bears and something like 6 of these hyenas.
Oh,
Okay, that's a lot of them.
that's a lot.
How stealthy can you be, Barry?
How stealthy can Barry be?
Yeah, the small little fairy. How stealthy are you able to be?
Not too stealthy.
Wouldn't you be the stealthiest of us?
He's old, his bones creak.
He's old and he rides oak for most of it.
Yeah, but without Oak, how stealthy would you be?
D4.
Okay.
For the record, Oak is pretty stealthy.
Oh, well, if Oak is pretty stealthy, we could, if we have to give over the sheep, we could just have one of us
Oh,
trail them
Oak
and
is
see where
very
we'd have to go. That way, later at night, for example, we could try to get in.
But soft baby not with me.
We'll go get Soft Baby back. That's the point.
Danger.
Now,
Are you proposing to, like, give them Finithir for now and then sneak in later?
in case Gus my proposal is that in case Gus comes back and he's like, nope, you're gonna have to give me the sheep, we give the sheep to him, someone trails him so we know where to go. And then during night we can go and try and enter the place. That's what Seraphina is proposing.
Gotcha.
So, Barry, you think Oak could trail them undetected?
Oak can try.
Are we all okay with that? Or do you guys have another plan?
I mean, sounds like a good plan to me.
Otherwise, I'm totally fine with fighting them all at once.
Of
I've
course
been
you are.
itching for a fight.
Of course you are.
I mean, it's no bother to me which way we decide to go. I'm just wondering what's the most effective course of action.
Well, when Gus comes back. Wait, we know his name is Gus, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
I believe Finithir told you. I think he also introduced himself as Gus.
I
Yeah.
believe so, yeah.
When Gus comes back, we can have Oak try to follow. And I'm assuming that all the animals will go away too. And then we can make our move.
That sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
I don't think we should do anything now.
But dangerous. Baby soft.
Exactly.
No like.
All right. Is that the plan that we have established?
Yeah, it looks like we're
yeah.
just gonna wait until Gus comes back
All right.
and see what he says now.
So Gus comes back in a lovely series of events, some secret roles behind the GM screen.
Oh, wow.
All right. So I spoke with Mr. Nook. You guys can come over and have a discussion. He doesn't really have a need for any adventures, but it sounds like you guys have something to sell or something, or that you want to talk with him about. Basically, so long as you bring the sheep back, sheep's brought healthily, Nook will give you an audience. It'll be pretty brief, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, how's that sound?
Brief is all that we need. Thank you so much, Gus.
All right. Well then, and he kind of like gestures to the others. He's like, "All right, stop resting. Come on, we got stuff to do." And they start leading you guys over to the tower. Everyone, glad to have you. All right.
Everything.
So everyone has now, at this point, gotten escorted over to Nook's Tower. And as you get there, you are greeted with a plethora of other animals. There are some boars and some apes that are about. And as you're brought here on to say, it's overall things look pretty good. There's a small little patch of water that's kind of off in the distance where you can tell they source some of their water. There's a small little farm that is kept. You can see off to, I guess would like be your sort of northwest, is a small little pen that is currently empty, which is, you know, presumably where they've been keeping Finnetir. There's a small little house off to y'all's west, but directly ahead of you, there is this big, very large, multi-structured establishment, that is each chunk of this place is circular and is connected by these bridges that go from one to the other. And as you guys are brought in and escorted over, you don't see another humanoid individual. All the other creatures that surround this place are all other animals. And as you guys get here, you can see some of the animals that were with Gus kind of start to scatter about a little bit and go, to go do their business. And Gus goes up to you, that preaches, with his arms out and goes, "All right, I'm gonna go put our sheep away in the pen, and then I'll go get Nook."
I push it.
Okay. Then come with me. And he just starts walking over to the pen. I assume you follow?
Yeah, it follows.
Yeah, he just walks you over to the pen, undoes the latch, and opens it up for you to put Finnetir in there.
It's gonna also walk in the pen and sit down with Finnetir.
And he just looks over and looks back at the rest of the group, just okay, and kind of just closes the pin and redoes the latch and just puts both of you in there. And
Adelphi literally just
doors.
shrugs.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sure when he's ready to get out, he can get out. And heads back over to y'all's group and goes, all right, yeah, I assume that he will get out on his own or whatever, but I'm gonna go get Noke, so I'll be back in a bit. As he goes and starts, scaling the platforms, taking the stairs, and goes into. You can see as he climbs one of the platforms, gets to the door of one of them and just lets off some knock, and there's like a brief exchange of words. It's a little too far to actually hear or make out anything, and eventually the door opens and you see people. This good old individual comes out, and he heads out of the door and looks over. You guys are really far away from him at this point, and let's see. Yeah, it's 12 game inches, which each inch is 6 yards? If I'm remembering correctly. And you see, he looks over y'all's direction and says some more stuff with Gus, and then the two of them begin heading down the steps and making their way, past all of them. And you see some of the animals come in tow, and he eventually gets, to your group and is like, all right. Well, I guess. Actually, coming over, he would look over at the pen and see. I guess for it that preaches. Are you in the pen still holding Finithir, or are you like?
No. He's on the floor now.
Okay. I think he would just be looking at you. Like he doesn't really. He understands the plan, but at this point, he doesn't really know what to do. Right? He can't really say anything. And he can't really contribute in any meaningful way. So he's just, you hear him bat every now and again. And you can see Noke looks over and he's like, he's gonna be leaving, right? It's when all this is done, all of you will be leaving, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, when all of this is done, we're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I understand that Gus has already paid you for this delivery.
Yes, but us wanting an audience with you was not about the delivery. You see, I am very curious about what mortal wizards spend their time researching. And I was very curious as to your work. I mean, I've only heard little whisperings around the town, but I was curious as to what it is that you research here.
Yeah. Well, as far as mortal wizards go, I mean, the study is gonna vary from wizard to wizard. I don't claim to speak on behalf of all of them, but
for sure, yes.
I mean, my specific focus is really to do with things of a transmuting nature. I do dabble in many of the schools, as I think pretty much all wizards do to some degree, unless of course you're hyper specialized. But for the most part, my focus tends to be on transmutation.
And what specifically about transmutation?
I mean, there's decent value in altering the body for a variety of uses. You could potentially try and make someone strong if they are doing a job that requires strength. You can, alter someone's body to be a bit more hardy if they're gonna exist in a harsh environment type thing. Yeah, I mean, overall, right? Any environment or circumstance you can think of, there's a creature that has features that allow them to live within that environment or do whatever it is that they need to do. And as such, it's really the focus on how do we allow ourselves to adopt those features.
Mm. I see. I'm really this particular school of magic I am very unfamiliar with. Is it possible for you to show me a bit? I don't think I'll have any practical use for it in my own life, but I definitely would like to take a look at it. Want me to roll some sort of persuasion or something?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
Adelphi is like, I don't know how much this is going to translate to her other like party members, but she's essentially trying to get him to like take out the wand so that someone else can try and snatch it from it
I
or
got
something.
that. I was already
Like-
gonna ask if I could see the wand on him or something like that, but I was like, let's just go with this for now. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we'll roll persuasion. Don't fail me now. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
You love to see it.
Yeah, so you can see he looks over and he's like, yeah, okay, I guess I can put on like some sort of display. He looks over at like the various animals that are around him, and you can see he's like, hold on, and he like steps back and goes over to one of the apes that are there.
Mm.
And he's like, hey, scoot back a little bit. And you can see the ape just kind of like looks up at him. And just, well, I guess they're about like eye height. And he's just like, okay. And you can see the ape kind of takes a few steps back. And you see Noak reaches over onto his like left side and pulls out a wand, and you know, with a wave of it is his sort of material component in this case is like his focus, mutters an incantation, flings the wand over at the ape, and as the magic flies off, you see the ape gets transformed from an ape into a boar. And you can see very quickly the like now ape transformed into boar has like this awkward point where it's like kind of walking a little haphazard, being used to being able to walk on its hind legs and then using its, you know, arms for stability if it needs to, now being forced to be on all fours, and it just plops itself down on its little hind. It's just like, yeah, I'll get used to this later. And he's like, well, there's your display. Hope that performance was up to taste.
Oh, yes, very much. It has somewhat satiated my curiosity, but I will definitely have to do some more research on my own later. She's like waiting for someone else to do something because she really has no idea what she's gonna do.
What do you do if you need to transform them back? Do you just use the same spell?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Are there any side effects from changing from one animal to the other?
Well, sort of, right? Like, there's a brief sort of grace period on them getting used to their body. Different people adapt easier than others. Different animals adapt easier than others. There's a variety of things. For animals getting polymorphed into animals, it tends to be... They're very instinctual, so they tend to get it a bit easier than people getting polymorphed. But generally, our intelligence and very quick and understanding magic is a pretty wonderful thing. Really has that adaptation factor sort of built in, and it doesn't take particularly long for them to maneuver within the body. Although it definitely feels weird.
Have you ever transformed yourself?
Yeah, on occasion. It's... I mean, sometimes you gotta experience it personally for the purposes of your studies, but it's not something I do much often these days.
Can he see it in the pit with the sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna like pick up the sheep and walk towards the door and start unlatching it.
I'll just roll a notice roll to see if he catches on that you're basically like bringing the sheep back out. Okay.
I just realized one of the powers that I have that. Sorry.
Yeah, he looks over and sees that priest is bringing Fantier out. He's like, "Well, hey, I thought, what's happening?"
He lonely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got plenty of animals here for him to associate with. Put him back in the pen.
But he lonely now.
What? He just like looks over at the rest of the group and he's like, "Hello?"
I don't know what to tell you. He's taken a very big liking to your sheep.
You know how young ones are.
Well, I don't think people normally get attached to sheep that often. Also, it's our sheep. You guys are going to be leaving in like 5 minutes.
I don't know
So,
what to tell you. We'll make sure that he puts the sheep back before we leave.
He's still struggling with the door.
Can I ask a question?
yeah? What is happening here?
You have so many big animals, and then you have one sheep. Why is he not a big animal?
I mean, he's just a sheep. I don't transform every animal that I see.
So
Hmm.
the sheep is just a sheep.
Yeah.
Is he a test subject for you?
No, just grazes. Helps keep the grass down.
Give me just one moment. I'm going to go make sure that it doesn't break anything because he's still struggling with the lock. So she's gonna go
He just
over.
looks over. He's like, "It? What is she talking about?
Oh,
Who's it? The sheep?"
No. The young one's name is It That Preaches.
Y'all just call it
Oh.
it?
It asked us to.
So she's going to go over and she's gonna try to, if this is gonna require a bit of a stealth or something, that's fine. She's gonna try to use her wings to like hide it a little bit. Not that it really matters. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to get over in time. She's gonna try to cast a spell on the sheep to dispel the transformation effect.
Perfect.
You don't want to tell it about this?
No.
You're about to ruin its whole world. He still thinks it's a sheep.
So I'm gonna read out Dispel. So Dispel allows a hero to negate enemy powers. It has no effect on permanent enchantments or natural abilities such as a Dragon's Breath or a Banshee Scream. I'm assuming it's not a permanent enchantment since it can be reversed. Dispel affects arcane devices normally. Dispel can be used on a power that is already in effect or to counter an enemy's power as it's being used. The latter requires the countering mage to be on hold and interrupt his foe's action.
Oh yeah,
In
that's
either
for like
case-
a counterspell type thing.
Yeah. In either case, dispelling an opponent's power is an opposed roll of arcane skills. Target using the and then we can get into the other stuff. But basically, yes. So as I was reading it, I was like, I think I could use this. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
All right, so it's an opposed roll.
Ooh, do you like? Oh, I was gonna say you like to see that.
So he also has to roll. Then it sounds like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna roll very badly, right? Crit fail, hopefully.
Yeah, it's either way. Okay, I was just making sure that it wasn't just the counter spell that was.
Oh, we both have a D10.
Oh, but you had a +1.
Dancing.
Oh, you love to see it.
Beautiful.
You know what? He's got 2 bennies.
Oh,
No. No.
No.
no.
No!
No!
Yeah, so for anyone watching, bennies allow for a reroll, which is when those meta resources I was talking about. Much like the players are wildcards and have their own pool of bennies, certain NPCs are wildcards and have their pool of bennies. And in this instance, Mr. Nook over here is spending one, and my reroll yielded a 19.
If only that this spell didn't only cost 1 power point. Could you? Can you?
I could have upped it, but I.
With that said,
You've probably noticed that, right?
yeah, I'm gonna make a notice roll, right? I'm just gonna make a notice roll.
I wanted to make some sort of stealth roll or something to. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
doesn't
with the
notice.
2, I will say that he doesn't notice what's happening. Like his magic is still in effect and persisting. And he's just like paying attention to these 3 over here. He's like, hey, are you gonna go like get them? What are they doing with my sheep? Why are they letting my sheep back out? I thought we paid you to bring the sheep, put it in the pen, then talk with me about some magic stuff, which we've done.
Oh,
Why are
Adelphi's
we still
trying to
confusing?
stop him.
Yeah, the
Yes.
big guy gets attached to animals really easily. That's why we still have Oak around, I say, as I point towards the cat. So Adelphi's probably just trying to convince him to let go of the sheep.
I see. Okay, look, I'm gonna assume you guys are gonna get this sorted out. It sounds like we have we've done all of our stuff. So Gus, I don't know. Whenever they're done petting the sheep, escort him off, please. And he starts making his way back over to his tower. And Gus is just like, okay, I had other plans to do today, so
Oh, Gus,
If you
I
wanna do the
apologize for
wrap-up
the
part?
inconvenience. Like, if we can make up for this trouble, by the way, with whatever you need to do, we could help you if you want us to. You wouldn't have to pay us for it. Like, it's to make up for this trouble. I point towards it and Adelphi.
no, there's no need to make up anything. Just sheep goes in pen. You guys have already been paid for your absolutely wonderful, kind, and necessary service. So he's like, you guys can go now.
Oh, you young ones always in such a rush. You'll learn when you get to be my age. Ah, life passes so quickly.
What's happening with Adelphi and It That Preaches? Because I will say, y'all see like Noak heading back over.
Adelphi is now like panicking a little because she's like, that didn't work. He
It
doesn't.
still doesn't understand what happened.
Would she get the sense that like it could have worked if like it would have worked if his like opposed if his magic wasn't so strong, quote unquote, you know? But in theory this could have worked.
I think so. I think that
Okay.
you would know. I mean, right, the risk is always on you. Between the two of you rolling, like, at the end of the day, you're the one paying a resource to do it, not Noak.
Yeah.
So every time you fail, right, like, it costs you something.
Would I be able to do this again? Just try it again?
I don't know if Dispel has the stipulation where it's once per. Looking at it, it doesn't look like it. So it looks like you
It doesn't
can.
look like it.
Yeah, there are some effects where, like, once you've tried, an example is healing, right? Like, if you cast the healing power and try to heal a wound and fail, that wound cannot be attempted to be healed by that person again. It'd have to be somebody else.
Mhm.
The idea, right, is like you tried to tend to the wound and you just didn't have the expertise for whatever that wound was and failed. I think in this case, right, you're basically just like, do I need to keep pumping more magic into this thing? Do I gotta overload it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have that stipulation, so I think you could try again. Of course,
Okay.
I think y'all are about even foot because you're both wild cards, right? It's kind of a coin flip on who wins.
Yeah.
And
unless I
there's a
pump
lot
bunch
of
of
people
magic
around,
into
so
it, you know. Yeah. So unless I like. Yeah, and so unless I try to, I don't know. There's really nothing like. There's no like modifiers I could add that would really help me.
A modify, you say?
Yeah.
not really. I think you would basically have to. So one of the other things is that you're the aggressor in this situation, which means your roll always has to be first, and you have to stick by
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I, as the defender, right, I always have the advantage in that if I roll below your number, I can re-roll, but you never know
Re-roll.
what my number is going to be.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is one of those, like,
Okay.
the
It's
reason you're
totally
allowed to
not
keep
like it.
trying is because the game favors me in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you do have 4 bennies, so.
Well, also I was about to say, do I not get another one from the luck edge?
Oh, yeah, for some reason that didn't.
It didn't
okay.
add on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, look at it. That's another 25 power points.
Yep.
I'm holding on to them for my wounds.
Oh, we're never gonna fight. This one shot. It's fine.
Yeah, there's no way. There's
Okay.
no combat for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually going to. Yeah. All right. Adelphi not wanting to let Nook get away, I think is going to start combat.
Okay.
So she is going to. She can fly 60 feet. So I can go this far, or I guess this far?
Okay, how far is your flight? I think you have a pace of 6, so it's 6 tiles.
6 tiles, right? So would this technically be 6 tiles? Well, I guess that technically works. I don't know if we're actually in
No, you
So,
guys
like, all
are
the way
pretty
to-
far separated from each other. Because remember, you're at the pin.
Oh, so
That's
I'm
where
probably
that
not
breaches.
actually. I'm
Yeah,
probably not.
you guys are
actually right
technically
now.
even farther than this. Yeah, you guys are
I have to get
something to the effect of like 15 tiles away from where the rest of the group is, and
Mhm.
Noak is heading away with Gus in between.
What is my range? Hold on.
Range of
Most likely smart or something.
yeah, a lot of spells are smarts based.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about trying to get as close as possible and casting Havoc. So you let me know, because not everything is placed exactly where it's supposed to be. You let me know if I can do that.
What's your range on Havoc?
Small.
SM is
If it
smart.
says SM, that means smarts.
Oh, smarts.
Okay, then what is your
I can't
smarts
read.
die? A D10?
A D10, yeah.
Let's see. Is Havoc... So I believe, for the record, Havoc in and of itself doesn't do damage. I think you have to push them into something. If I'm
It
remembering
says,
correctly.
with success, the caster places a medium blast template anywhere within range, or a cone template emanating from the caster. I would put it within range. Anyone touched by the template is distracted and then must make a strength roll. Those who fail are hurled 2d6 directly away from the caster. Oh wait, so you're right. It does. They would have to strike something and do damage.
All right.
Well,
So
we are
there's
on the
a
bridge, right?
couple of interesting things, I guess, about positioning here, and I think
Mhm.
this is one of those. In order to properly demonstrate it, I got to bring everybody over to the battle map, because there's a whole bunch of people here, and you are not really close enough to, I think, do exactly what you're doing, but there is some potential to do some shenaniganery here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, confusion. I could also do confusion. I know it's the same thing.
Yeah, so you
But-
were right here with
But I
it that
don't know
breaches. So this is
Yeah.
after having moved 6. And then
Mhm.
10 tiles away is here, right? Along this
Yeah.
line. So technically, I guess if you were to Havoc, like on this spot, you could try to push Noke, like, into this tree trunk.
Mhm.
There isn't really a whole lot to try to shove him into. It would also push, like, Gus further into the group, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
funny.
Which might be fine.
Yeah, so where you are is like you started here, right? So if we assume that whatever you're trying to do is being 6 would put you somewhere around here. Obviously not exactly, it could depend. But with a smart of 10, like, this is, regardless of where you go, this is basically always your line of what you're able to access.
Yeah.
And obviously a cone doesn't reach that far, so it'd have to be.
It would have to be, medium blast. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and cast Havoc.
Alright. So we'll start with that, and then we'll roll some beautiful initiative. Is it by default a medium blast template?
I have to
I
roll
can
for
pop
success.
open. Easiest success of
That's
your
a
life.
good success. Let's take that.
Yeah. So, a raise. Hold on.
Yeah, so it is, with a success, the caster places a medium blast template. So in your chat box, below the result should be cone, MBT, LBT. MBT is the medium blast template, and if you click that, it should put a little template on your hand.
Ooh.
Yeah, and place it on a corner, not in the center of a spot.
Okay.
It gives you more range that way, and that's also kind of the way it's expected to be used. You get less range if you were to put it in the center, so.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and.
And then I will have to make a strength roll for everybody you hit at -2 for this push.
I believe it's like right around here, right? This is like my extent.
I
don't have my-
Yeah. So wherever, like, the line is from here to here, that's your max
Okay.
range. So.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put it right there then.
All right. So go on ahead and on the bottom you're gonna roll 2d6, which you can just, there's all the dice on the bottom.
Mhm.
Right. The second one is the d6, and if you just click that twice and then click roll, that tells me how far they're gonna be pushed. On top of the fact that they are going to be distracted. That just gets to happen. Thanks for distracting my bear. I care more about the bear than Mr. Noak over there.
Well, you
8
get to make
tiles.
a strength. You get to make a strength roll to see if they get pushed
Yeah,
back.
we'll start with good old Noak and his D4.
Oh, he's a strong boy. Oh, of course he does.
All right, that's
oh,
even
but I
with
got a
minus-
raise.
It's minus
so you-
2, which is still a success.
minus
'cause I
2.
got a 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bear does not have a wild die, but is rolling a D12.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Exactly the number I needed on both of those.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah. So for just sort of narrating what happened, right? Adelphi is with It That Preaches. Is It That Preaches holding Finithir again?
Yeah, he's holding him again.
Okay. Let me go get our little sheepy boy. All right, you've got our little sheep over there. And she goes over, tries to cast her spell, sees it doesn't work, and then immediately just takes to the sky and flies over and blasts off this spell that hits Mr. Noak and the bear. At this point, it's pretty obvious we're gonna get into some combat. So let me go on ahead and get everybody in here. I'm gonna put some tokens off the map, which are just gonna be indicative of that group.
Oh my god.
I am missing you. All right. Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting one.
This is a lot of animals.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
So-
oh.
Y'all are talented. Alright, so don't forget that if you want to pop out the combat tracker, you can right click on the little fist over there to bring it out, and you can also, if you don't want to have it out all the time, you can just double click the combat tracker or just use the pop out in order to
Yeah. 17 things total we're dealing with.
Alright, so, interestingly enough, so for anybody new to the system, the way initiative works in this game is it's a card draw. The players will draw a card, and then depending on the higher the number, right, the higher your position, and then depending on your suit, they go in alphabetical order, right? So clubs starting with C go first, alphabetically up. So if you have a tie in the number, the faster suit wins. There is technically a Joker, which has its own little set of rules, which we might go over if we run into it. All creatures of the same type act on the same initiative, so all of my bears who are going to be leading us off will go first, then all of my hyenas over there. For the record, Oak will go on Barry's turn.
Mm-hmm.
And just so that anybody out there knows, Seraphina has a specific edge, which is kind of like a feat, where whenever they draw below a 5, I believe it is, they get to redraw and can continue doing so until they get higher than a 5.
There it is. You can read the description.
Yeah, you can pop the description open, so for anybody who wants to read it, can read it there. Alright, so
It's a fine roll, let's see.
we're gonna begin with some good old-fashioned combat. And my bears are leading us off. I think that... How fast can my bears move? Pace 7. I guess this is a question for Adelphi. When Adelphi flies over, how high up are you?
She doesn't want to be too high up because she doesn't want to be like super out of range. But I would assume she's probably faster flying than walking. So,
Are you like 2 tiles up? Are you like 4 tiles? I think 6 is the maximum up you could have technically gone, because you would have been down on the floor with It That Preaches when y'all were trying to do your thing, right? So
yeah, I'd say probably like 2 tiles up.
all right. So with that, I'm gonna have this bear come over and attack Oak. This one will attack Seraphina. So, kind of, now that we're in combat, I'll get into some of the rolls. My bear is going to attempt a claw attack. Now, all the players have been rolling their trait die plus a d6 and taking the higher. Much of these enemies here are basically anything that doesn't have a health bar that you're looking at on the screen, which are those 3 little bars beneath them. Those are the ones with the health bars are wild cards. Everything else is an extra. Extras do not get that wild die, which makes their chances of success far less often. Also, they can only take 1 wound, which will be relevant when someone gets hit. Starting off, Oak. Yeah. Easy living as these bears run over Seraphina, and they go and attempt to maul you, both of you, and it's horrible. They completely fail. That said, distracted is over for the bear.
Now, what does the distracted trait?
It's
do?
-2 to all of their trait rolls, I believe. So, distracted. The 2 most common conditions in the game are distracted and vulnerable. Distracted essentially imposes a -2 to everything that they want to do. Vulnerable gives everybody else a +2 to things that they do to them, right? So vulnerable makes it easy to affect them. Distracted makes it harder for them to do stuff.
Mhm.
All right, 1 wolf here. Oh, my wolf can reach. Here.
Ooh, I'm excited for my turn. I'm telling you that right now. I'm so sorry though for Barry and Oak, but I'm so happy for my turn. I'm so excited.
This wolf will actually it's gonna run, but the lowest it can roll is a 1, and it will get over to it that breaches. All right, we will start with Seraphina.
Yes.
Couple hounds gonna attempt to bite you. Look, I guess for anybody who's watching, if you are looking at that 8, be like, why did that miss? I talked about very early on how the target number is 4, but there are a couple exceptions. And oftentimes, hitting somebody in melee and dealing damage to a creature are the most common exceptions that exist. When you're trying to hit someone in melee, you are hitting their parry, and Seraphina has a parry of 9. Which is why that 8 completely missed. Second hound here, that is a fail. Barry, 1 hound is going to attempt to bite at you. Uh-oh.
Oh, go like this.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh, beautiful, beautiful tiny creature.
yeah. So, that's... For the record, in case anyone is wondering, Barry is tiny, being a fairy, obviously, which means that they're harder to hit, right? Like, it's, if you've ever tried to, catch a fly with your hand, they're just really difficult to get. As such, much of these creatures have a -6 when trying to affect Barry with anything, which makes it very difficult to hurt Barry with with pretty much anything. On the other hand, Oak over here is for sure gonna get hit. Let's roll damage.
Oh, but it's a low damage roll.
No.
That's the
Beautiful.
worst roll I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I was so scared for Oak that right
It's
there.
alright, it's alright, because we hit this, and then watch the damage. Oh,
Oh,
alright.
shit.
So this is the first time that now we get to see what happens. I talked about earlier how you hitting parry or dealing damage means you have to hit an enemy's toughness. Oak has a toughness of 8. So whenever you hit the target number or roll within 4, so for Oak, that'd be 8, 9, 10, 11. Something different happens on 12, which would be a raise. The character gets shaken. Shaken is essentially just a pretty minor debuff. On their turn, at the start of their turn, they'll have to roll a spirit roll to see if they can break out of it. Otherwise, it's kind of like a mini stun. It makes it so that they can't really do much of their actions. If you get a raise on the damage, they get wounds, and pretty much all extras can only take 4 wounds or they are dead. So shaken is just like the step right before those penalties. On the other hand, at any point the player wants to spend a penny to get rid of the shaken, they can do that. So on to our first player's turn. Y'all managed to survive the first round of gauntlets. Seraphina, you are the first player to act. You are surrounded as all of these hounds and bears. The bears try to run up and claw you. The hounds just try to gnaw their teeth into your skin, but your armor and your nimbleness keeping them away.
So Seraphina, her face lights up obviously as now a fight has broken out. and she's, all right, boys, let's dance. And when Seraphina fights, it looks like she's dancing rather than fighting. So the blades that were closely packed on her back earlier suddenly spread out as she kind of does like a twirl, and all four of the blades kind of like go around her like a whirlwind, kind of slashing everything around her. Tell me again how I target everything around me with sweep.
Alright, so if you were to hold Alt and then click on, like, left click on something, you'll target it. If you hold Shift while doing this, you can target multiple things. For you hit... Yeah, basically everybody else that's gonna be here.
So it's Barry and Oak as well. So I also tell to Barry and Oak, like, get away from me! Next, but yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 targets, right?
Yeah, so you will roll one fighting roll at -2, which for the record, when you roll, you can just go into the multi-action and just do the -2 to achieve the same result.
I just get to use my normal weapon, right, for it?
Yes, yeah, you'll use your weapons normally. And then you roll damage individually. And I think for this, we will just go sort of like we're reading a book, right? Top to bottom, left to right.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the way that keeps this easiest. So there's about to be a whole bunch of dice.
Crit fails never happen! They almost never happen!
Yeah.
Oh
I'd
no.
love to see that.
Alright.
And that was the one against Gus, right?
Well, it's one fighting roll for
It's
all
one
of
fighting
them.
roll for all of them.
My God, you just fucking.
For anyone watching,
Sorry.
in a D20-based system, especially for a game like D&D, oftentimes you get a crit on a 20, which is the highest roll, and then you get a crit fail on a 1. In this game, because you're rolling 2 die, in order to crit fail, you have to roll a 1 on both. Critical fails cannot be re-rolled under any circumstances, and of course, as you would expect, something bad happens. So, Seraphina, as you go to draw your blades, for the record, a lot of times when this happens, it usually means like, you know, maybe the end result is like your character gets distracted, which might be like something distracts you, right? You slip or you trip or whatever. It could be you fall prone, it could be you vulnerable, whatever the case that you feel. But ultimately, in this situation, right, what happens with Seraphina? Yeah, you guys crit fail all the time for the record. I don't ever crit fail.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, what happens with Seraphina? Describe to me what this crit fail looks like.
I'm assuming she is trying to sort of dodge Barry and Oak doing this whirlwind. So at some point she can't get quite into the groove of things and put out her beautiful twirl as she normally does. And so she probably puts her foot down like on top of a branch that is sticking out or something like that and completely loses her balance, tumbling to the ground.
Ooh, okay. I think that sounds like distracted to me. Alright. You do still have movement, but there are like attacks of opportunity, so I don't know if you really want to move in any direction here.
Yeah.
Alright. So I assume that's your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day there.
Alright. If you can hit the end turn button at the top of your screen,
Right, yeah.
as we go to Adelphi.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Things are getting interesting.
Okay. So, what Adelphi wants to do is to try to go after Noke, because obviously we need the wand that he has. But she sees that a wolf has made its way over to it.
Yeah, that preaches in good old Finity Road.
Yeah. So she's going to.
You think it can't handle a wolf?
Well, she doesn't want anything to happen to her friend. So, she's going to. How do we target again?
You can double right click, you can hover and press T, or you can alt left click, whichever one is more convenient for you.
Alright. So she's going to cast Confusion on the wolf.
I think Confusion is naturally an AoE.
Is it?
I
Hold on, I'm
believe
trying
so.
to see.
If I open
Oh,
this-
it is. Yeah, it is a medium.
I mean, for the record, you could just put it to the south. Right? Like, you could end up putting the origin point somewhere like here, just to get...
Well, actually, she's a little bit more of a strategist. So she's gonna actually target these over here.
Yeah. So, I think it's a medium blast template by default if you want to drag
Yeah.
that onto them. And I believe, hopefully it should auto-target if this works out properly.
Yeah. All right. Now she's going to roll. Okay.
Yeah, that is indeed a success. So,
Alright.
you have an option with Confusion, which is to make them either vulnerable or distracted. Vulnerable, making it easier to affect them with things, distracted, making it harder for them to do stuff. Which would you do? It has to be one for all of them.
Vulnerable.
Okay.
She's going to do that. And then she's going to take her movement to go closer to Noak. Try to catch up to him. And that will be it. So if I were to try to get some power points from a Benny, when would I do that?
Whenever you want. You can just burn a Benny to get 5 power points at any time.
Oh, so can I just do that now?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll just say on the bottom left, and then just go into your sheet and add the 5.
Okay, so I'm back up to full power points. All right. And that is the end of my turn.
Alright, if that breaches, you just watch Confusion get cast along the borders. You've got this hyena that ran over at you. Couldn't take any actions. Well, it could have, but it would have been at a penalty, which it's just going to wait for its next opportunity.
Hold up 1 second here as I almost made a mistake. Almost made it an oopsie whoopsie doopsie.
Yeah, don't
Why
forget
is it
to
not-
target the...
Why is it not targeting? Oh, there we go. I
yeah.
forgot. Yeah, okay, I figured it out. All right.
Oh,
There it is!
All right, so I want to bite down on the wolf's head.
Perfect. Yeah, so, I mean, you got a raise, so go ahead and roll the, click the dice with the plus on it for raised damage. Look at all these raises coming out!
Dang.
And with 1 wound, that's all it could take, is, yeah, you just chomp down on that. Really, it was a person transformed into a wolf that you just, like, bit down on their head. And, yeah, their skull just cracks under the pressure. So for the record, as an insectoid, you get, because of your, like, extra arms and stuff, you do not incur a multi-action penalty so long as you were to use your hands. So if you wanted to go over to one of these boars and attack with your shield, you would not roll that at a -2 like you normally would. So basically you get 2 free attacks.
Can
Or
I just
I guess
real
you get
quickly
one free
put the soft baby in the pen before I do that?
Yeah.
All right, soft baby in pen, and I am just. I gotta use my hands on these boards, right?
Yeah, so you'd have to attack with your shield.
All right. Easy peasy. Where is shield?
It should be in your inventory.
Oh, is it not the spike shield? Oh, whoopsie.
Yeah, it's just a heavy shield and it has spikes on it.
Gotcha.
Alright, don't forget to pick which one you're targeting so that I know. Oh my god, who is
Oh,
this
wow.
bug?
Jesus.
Alright, so once again, give me damage with a raise. Oh my god.
my
Oh
God.
wow.
Can I use my shield to just bring it down with enough force to decapitate one of them? Or
Yeah.
decapitate that one?
Yeah, I assume you're got the one on the top?
Mhm.
Yeah, and for sure, that one is just, its head just gets severed and rolls over. And you just hear Finnet there, over there, just, bah. That's all I can do.
Thank God it can carry us.
Yeah.
That preaches it can carry!
Alright, go on
It's
ahead
not
and hit the
carry.
intern button up there, so I can get over to Gus. Alright, I think in this moment, Gus is going to come over and try just to protect Noak. He has confidence in the animals. Noak is going to bypass these guys and start climbing up here.
What of this?
I didn't even see that part of the map.
I like how Gus has confidence in the animal after I just fucking murdered 2 of them.
And is going to mutter an incantation and fire off a bolt of energy at Adelphi.
Crit fails never happen! What is this?
Alright, since he is already distracted, first off loses the power point. Cool, that's in there. Yeah, you see he goes to fire it off, but being distracted, you see he goes to like go through his process of casting a spell, and you see the magic kind of like fizzle off as it goes to exit his hand, and then you see it just explode. And he is now also vulnerable because of that. Although the distracted Antelope, he remains vulnerable.
Monkey.
Yeah, monk. Alright. I think I'm gonna roll some pace die for these.
Ooh, they have to run.
Ooh,
Oh, he running fast.
that's a really good roll on the first one.
Oh,
Oh
you-
my goodness.
Oh.
You little.
So they get to move 12.
Oh,
Wow, did you ignore Adelphi?
do I get attacks of
What?
opportunity?
Honestly, you're in the air, so
No. But that means that they don't, if I were to fly over these, they would not get attacks of opportunity on me either.
yeah. I mean, attacks of opportunity
That- I
assume that
would-
you're in the
That's
adjacent
fine.
square, right?
Okay. Yeah, so if I were to, in theory, fly over Gus, he's not going to be able to get an attack of opportunity on me.
No. Although pretty soon some range stuff is going to get thrown, of course. And these apes are going to try and protect Noak, as that is what they are paid to do.
I love how the 2 apes that were protecting him ran off, and then these need to go protect him.
Yeah, I mean, some are more talented than others.
Ah, right, yeah.
And these boars are going to attempt to attack It That Preaches for having just beheaded one of their friends. And with 2 fails, you just feel their tusks like clank against your like hard exterior and your armor. You just hear the sound of like that bone just hitting your armor, but ultimately not having any effect. Barry, it is your turn, so you can start us off by by rolling a spirit roll for Oak to see if they unshake.
How do I do that for Oak?
On Oak, if you can just click their sheet, or if you just click on them and the buttons at the top,
okay.
there's the skills, yeah. And yeah, that, oh my goodness.
Oh, you very
So
much
unnecessary.
Oh my
Beautiful.
god! Oh,
Yeah.
Oak is a god!
Oak will not be broken.
Alright, Oak completely unshakes. So both Barry and Oak can act completely fine on this turn.
Okay.
So what's happening? What you got for us, Type?
Oh gosh. The clock ticking is a lot.
I know, it gets to you.
Yeah. Hang on, let me read what this is.
Last in the initiative has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, well, because I...
Yeah.
Okay, so first Barry's gonna move out of range of Seraphina.
So honestly, in almost any direction you go, you will incur an attack of opportunity. If you exit there 5 feet, yes, right. So this one is occupying these spaces.
Yeah.
So if you were to go now, of course, the odds of hitting you are unlikely. But I don't want to be the guy to be like, yeah, you won't get hit, and then you walk away and your character dies for it.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
You're already the guy who said it.
Because you already know critical never happen.
Yeah, criticals never happen.
Already.
Well, I think Barry is gonna cast Smite on Oak.
Alright. For +1 power point, you can also additional recipients on it. Do you want to cast it just as base, or do you want to add some people?
Let's add Seraph. Let's add Seraphina.
Okay, so go on ahead and cast your Smite. We'll see if it goes off, and then if it does, you'll just have to subtract an extra 1 point in your power points.
Where is my?
Honestly, if you click on Barry,
There
there's
you
the
go.
powers up at the top. Yeah. Yeah, with your trait modifier and these guys being this close, that goes off completely fine. Alright, both of y'all are gonna get a smite. It's gonna go on the... I'm assuming you want it on the bite, not the claws, because the bite deals more damage.
Yeah, on the bite.
Since I was a raise, do we both get a +4 instead of a +2?
So the reason that was a raise was because of the scale, but the scale doesn't actually apply in this instance.
Okay.
So it actually doesn't have the +6.
Okay.
And then I guess I'm gonna have Oak attack.
Yeah, who's Oak attacking? Alright,
who-
so honestly, I don't think we've gone too far over all the things Oak has.
Yeah.
So just kind of gonna jump real quick into that. Oak has Frenzy. In fact, Oak has Improved Frenzy, which means it can be applied on multiple attacks. Frenzy is you're gonna roll 2 die instead of 1 plus your wild die. You're gonna roll 2 die plus your wild die, and you take the higher 2, which means you can hit 2 people.
Okay.
Also, Oak has Pounce, which is whenever you wild attack. Instead of getting +2 to a hit and +2 damage, you get +2 to hit and +4 damage.
But that's only one.
No, it would be to any damage rolls that you do. Now,
Right,
the
but-
downside of pouncing is it makes you vulnerable, and
Yeah,
you have to
right.
pay that out.
I think I'm gonna just do the frenzy on the 2 dogs.
Are you gonna make 2 attacks or 1?
2.
All right, so go on ahead and whenever you roll Oak's Bite, just go on ahead and in the multi-action section, put a -2 there.
So how do I do that? I click on natural bite.
Yeah, click on Natural Bite, it'll bring it into the chat, and then under multi-action,
Uh-huh.
if you click that drop down, there will be 2 actions.
2 actions. Right.
And just click it, and then go on ahead and roll.
Nope.
Oof. All right. Well, that's why you take 2 attacks. So go on ahead and do the exact same thing again. So go roll another bite. Yeah, and then
Multi-action again. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So I assume both of those hit. The first one, the 18 is a raise, and the 8 is a non-raise. So we'll start with the raise on the topmost wolf. So go on ahead and give me raise damage. This damage is for sure gonna hurt. I don't think my dog is gonna live.
No, it's not.
All right. Oh, it rolled the race-wise, which is fine. So it's going to be the 16, and then go on ahead and roll regular damage for me. And this will be for... Oh, am I living? Wait, maybe not because of the... We're just using the first damage roll, which is enough to shake. Yeah. All right. Well, that's one of my dogs down. Ugh. Well,
Can Oak technically move out of range of me right now?
Yes.
Oak can.
He's made himself a passageway like perfectly. It's beautiful.
Oak's a master tactician.
Yeah,
So
you
if-
only incur the sort of attack of opportunity if you leave the threat range. But you can like go in the circles around, right?
So I
So
could
I
just
guess-
move here.
Oak could move here and not be in range of Seraphina. Of course, Barry still would be.
So like here.
Yeah.
And then I guess I end my turn.
Yep.
Good job, kid.
All right. Another thing is that initiative. Everybody draws new cards. As such, Adelphi, you are actually at the top of the turn order this time.
You're fast, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to move another 6. Right. And I'm going to let's see. How far would a cone go, just out of curiosity?
It would look something like that.
Perfect. Okay. I am going to cast Burst.
Okay.
Alright. So
All right.
let's roll to see. Oh, oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to get all 3 in this instance. It's
That's
just. All right. I mean, that's still a success. So roll me some damage here.
Ooh.
Alright. So the burst is a burst of like this golden light that seems to come as like almost like droplets of light, but just going at high velocity out from, and she has like an amulet that's like her, almost like her source of power. So that amulet glows, and you just see coming out from her fingertips are this burst of golden energy out this way. Let's see if it casts damage. Oh.
All right. So the first one is on the 8.
Oh, wait,
you have
hold
the
on.
4 and
I have them. Sorry, hold on. Actually, I didn't put the cone down, so that's.
it's fine. So that would not affect the boar. On the other
it
hand,
would be these two.
yeah. So Noke is the only one affected because the ape has enough toughness to eat this. On the other hand, yeah. Okay. So this will affect Noke for 2 wounds. That said, I am going to attempt to soak it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So let's go on ahead and roll Vigor, which I guess... oh, that's right, because he's vulnerable.
-2. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, it's applying the -2 from... My bad, it wouldn't be vulnerable, it'd be distracted. So the -2 wouldn't occur here because of the... You don't take the penalty on... The wound penalty when you're soaking, because otherwise soaking would be almost impossible. So that's
Yeah.
1 success,
Okay.
which is 1 wound removed. Do I want to try for better? I don't think so. I think we're gonna accept that he's gonna have 1 wound.
All right.
Yeah. And is shaken. Yeah, good hit. My poor little Noki boy over there.
All right, and then
Not a fan of your celestial cone droplets just blasting them.
You know, just blast him right in the face. All right, and that will be the end of my turn.
All right, so here we have some beams. We're gonna start with these guys who are going to make their way over. This one's gonna come over here and run.
No, not a sheep.
And hit that breaches. I hope you're ready to get punched.
I was born ready.
Yeah, with the gang up bonus, that is indeed some contact, but we have to roll damage to see what happens. Huh? What's your toughness? Who is this guy?
They are nothing but bitches before me!
Well, yeah, you just feel like a fist slam into your big shield, and it kind of, you feel it like rumble a little bit, and you see the ape like bring their hand back, like, you know, that normally works.
What can you do?
Bear. Look like you're having a fun time over there.
Yeah, Barry's having a great time. Barry is going to cast Entangle.
Okay.
On this hyena here. So just roll.
Yeah. Also, I forgot, but these other apes are gonna continue just
Oh,
tagging
yeah.
along with Nope, trying to protect them.
Okay.
Ooh.
Alright.
And once again, that is a regular success. And yeah, being entangled, that one is entangled and distracted, giving it -2 to all of its rolls until it gets out of this entangle.
Yep. And then Oak is gonna attack this dog.
Are you gonna do a multi-action again, or are you just going to make the singular attack?
Just a singular attack this time.
All right.
Why was that double?
Because you roll 3 die and keep the highest 2.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so a 5 is enough to hit my dog.
Okay.
So go on ahead and roll me damage.
Kick the dog.
And oh my goodness.
And Owen's dead.
Yeah, I'm not bothering to soak it. Unfortunately, the only other target available for Oak to hit would be the bear, and a 5 does not hit the bear's parry of 7.
Okay. Okay, so end turn.
Alright, Noak has to roll Spirit to try to break out, which looks like a nice success. Also the vulnerable... Oh wait, no, he would still be vulnerable. Oof, this is awkward. Alright. And, shocking turn of events.
Is he gonna keep running away? Like a
Not only is he gonna run away, but he's actually going to roll his run die, because being vulnerable, everything he does...
Ha!
Oh!
Beautiful. Wow, he's a slow boy, hey?
And then with the extra 1. So he gets to his door, but that's as far as our little Note can go. If he had 1 more, he could have potentially gotten inside. Yeah, he's like, this flying chick that asked me about my spells earlier is now blasting me with some magic? Get me out of here. This is why I pay these people the big bucks. I want no part of this.
So,
Alright,
I am
Seraphina.
distracted. How do I get rid of distracted again?
It's at the end of your turn.
It's at the end of my turn, it just happens automatically.
Yeah, at the end of your turn, it just goes away automatically.
And that's a -2 on?
All of your trait rolls. So not damage, but like if you were to roll to attack, it'll be -2.
Right, okay. She'll just get back off. She's clearly irritable because of what just happened. But she's gonna give it another whirl. As they say. So that's some.
Go for another sweep.
It automatically does it, right? The -2 from.
Yes, it will automatically do it. So if you want to do the sweep, you will be
just do
multi-action
okay.
-2, and yeah, the distracted will calculate.
Oh,
Don't forget to target.
Yeah. It's not
Hold shift
there.
when you're doing it, so that targets multiple.
Yeah, I'm doing it with shift. It's just not. Come on.
Holding shift and alt doesn't.
Now it does. There we go. Just had to do it like 5 times before I wanted to do it. Okay. It will totally work this time. No crit fail. That's what I like to see.
All right.
So 13 is -6 for Barry, right? So it'd be
Yeah. So that would be
7 for Barry?
-6 for Barry, which is 7.
It hits.
It
Oh, I still
hits.
hit Barry. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the hyena on the top first, right?
Yeah, we're gonna like a book, right? So hyena, then bear, then hyena, berry, hyena. Well, I think if you roll damage, it's gonna start rolling all of them at once. For the record, this will be raise damage there, raise damage there. So this roll raise damage, and we'll ignore berry because technically you're not rolling a raise damage on berry.
But it's raised on everyone else.
Yes, it'll be a raise on everyone else. So we'll just ignore the final number and use the first, I guess, 5 rolls.
Yeah. Okay.
And then once again, we'll just apply them in.
A lot of fucking dice.
Yup. All right. So, oh, it actually doesn't. Okay. So bear gets shaken. Other bear gets a wound.
Everything is dead and Barry
Hound.
needs to be.
I think everything takes a wound.
Yeah, except for that one bear.
Except for the one bear.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
But I took a reroll for Barry, right? Because Barry is not supposed to be a raise, and that's a raise.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on ahead and get rid of these. Now, if you can, only target Barry real quick,
Or
and
do
then
we
just
wanna
roll.
look at Barry's number and get rid of the raise die on it, which is a 2.
I'm going ahead and get rid of all this. Yeah, that's true. I can get rid of the raise, which would be 7. So you're hit for 7, which is enough to shake you.
Mm-hmm.
But not damage, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Overall,
That
pretty
worked
good.
out well.
That could have been bad.
It's a lot worse.
Yeah. So describe what it looks like. Is you
Yeah, so she's clearly a bit irritable that she didn't really show off what she can do, right? So she goes like, "I'm sorry, old man, but I'm not watching out for you anymore." And then she does this majestic spin with all the blades swirling around her, like a hurricane this time. And it kind of just slashes everything around her to pieces. Just blood kind of swirls with it, and it turns into this kind of red hurricane.
yeah. And all of them, you just see all of their bodies just crumple, with the exception of this one bear, who's the only one remaining standing.
She does a little bow at the end of it.
All right. This one bear has to roll for its shaken because of what you just did. A 6 is enough to unshake. Now I'm gonna make another spirit roll. Okay. Yeah, this bear stands its ground. I was rolling to see if after watching that it would freak out and run. But in the opposite end, for some vengeance, it's going to attempt to claw at you, and it's actually going to do a wild attack here. After seeing what you just did to its companions that it spent the past couple of years with.
Good job.
Hey, sometimes you just roll a 3 and you gotta hold that.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that bear
did you not
tried,
remove
that
the
bear
shaken?
failed. On the other end of the spectrum, Gus is gonna come over. And, hey, surprise, surprise. He brings out his greatsword.
Oh, I'm excited now. Like, she lights up when he comes with the great sword. She's happy about this.
And is in a less magical version of yours is also going to sweep to try and hit you and Barry.
Uh-oh.
You want a tango, big boy? Oh, he wants to he wants the tango.
Yeah. So,
It
That's
hits.
really as well. Fucking hell.
yeah, that's good old-fashioned raise
On me,
and a
the
regular
normal
hit
one,
on
right?
Barry.
No, it hits Barry. Regular hit on Barry.
Yeah, it's a raise on Seraphina.
Yeah.
All right, so let's roll, and then I'll subtract the raise damage. So starting with Seraphina.
Oof.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, very. Ooh.
So Seraphina, you get hit and take 1 wound.
I'm very
Barry.
sad.
I'm gonna try to soak it. That looks like a success.
Yeah, that is indeed a success. So, let's see if I can do. So that wouldn't be with a raise, although it's 3 wounds instead of 4.
Yeah.
So that would still be
Alright.
a dead berry.
No, you can take 3 wounds. On the 4th, you get incapacitated.
Okay.
But, Barry, you have the opportunity to try and soak here. So that gets rid of 1 wound. You can try for more. Remember, if at any point you crit fail, you accept the crit fail.
Yeah. I think.
Still says that Barry was damaged for 4.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's fine. I can just remove the wound manually.
Alright. You know what? I'll try it again.
Oh, unfortunately, it is still a regular success. You
Yeah.
need an 8 or higher.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just take it.
All right, so that brings you down to 2.
1.
No, 2.
2.
No,
'Cause I had-
you re-roll the soap basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't add them, you take the higher. All right. Well, hey, sometimes you just roll well. On
That's
the
a
other
fairy.
end over here, my boars finally get to go. And starting off with the spirit roll, see if this one unshakes. That is indeed an unshake. All right, it that preaches. Hope your little buggy body is ready.
It always
As
is.
That's a beautiful roll.
it's all right, because we hit on the second time. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
As the boars are just everybody over here is just swinging at you and just clinging into your armor. Nobody's actually able to get past your incredibly tough carapace.
Let me just roll.
Oh, he's gonna look.
This guy just getting
Because
his
he
explosion.
chose a train, you know? That's why he gets extra explosions.
Yeah, it's the
And
extra
then-
umph.
That's range, right? I can see range.
No, you would see 2 check marks if it were a raise.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I just get to roll damage?
Yeah, regular damage against this ape here. Oh! You poor ape. You guys are
bite out
just
its
rolling
throat?
them. Yeah. You just take another big chunk out of this ape as his body just crumples over with a piece missing.
And then can I still do the thing where I rush the other one down and bash him with the shield?
If you want to go after the other ape, you can. But you will take attacks of opportunity from.
I'll take him.
Alright, so let's see what happens. That one is not enough. And second one, yeah, I don't even know if it hears like the sound of them like clinking against your armor as you run.
All right. We got this, baby. I'm a tank.
Don't forget to target the ape.
Oh, good point. Nope. Shoot. There we go. Targeting ape. Cool.
See, you guys were worried. Look at how this is shaping up. Oof.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
Look how this
that
shapes.
is not enough to hit the parry of my ape as you see it turns around to face you.
Let's go! Another ape!
So Seraphina drew the 3 of clubs. We're gonna draw another card. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yes!
Well, some interesting things have just happened. For anyone who doesn't know why Ben just got excited there, we simultaneously had 2 jokers drawn in the same turn. The ape drew the black joker, no, the red joker, and Seraphina drew the black. So the red is faster than the black in this instance. So for anyone who's watching, whenever someone draws a joker, that team gets an extra Benny. Like everybody on the team gets an extra Benny. So because the ape got one, I as a GM get one, and then because Seraphina drew one, all the players get one. So everybody gets a Benny today.
Everyone gets a penny.
On top of that, the individuals who drew the joker get +2 to any of their actions for the round. So the ape is going to make an attack against it that breaches, and I'm going to wild attack this to add even more modifiers to this. Unfortunately, that didn't add the +2, but even with an 8, oh wait, an 8 actually does hit, because that is exactly your parry. So I get +2 on my damage. And that is actually enough to shake it that breaches. As renewed, as you go and attempt to attack the ape, it turns around and clocks you, and while it doesn't actually harm you, you feel it staggers you a little bit. On the other end, Seraphina, you got a joker.
I'll use 2 actions this turn.
All right.
My first action will be aimed at Barry. Seeing blood coming out of his tiny little fairy body, I'm gonna attempt to cast healing on him.
Okay.
Multi-action.
Yeah,
-2.
multi-action -2. And oh, it's because tiny, but that's still a success.
Right, so Barry gets to remove 1 wound, right?
1 wound, yeah.
And then the second action will be, she will extend her arm towards the orc, and the 4 floating blades behind her kind of like come rushing past her, trying to impale the orc on his chest.
Okay.
So multi-action.
Is parry not that high? Toughness very high. So let's see. This is for
Yes,
sure going to be a
loaded.
hit with the raise.
Well. Does that change?
Now that's a
anything?
lot of damage.
With the +2 from the Joker?
Yeah.
Does that become the 23 then with the Joker +2?
It's factored in there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, the reason it wasn't factored into my ape is technically the ape off screen that's controlling the initiative is the one that got it.
Alright.
But for you, it is. Interesting. So that's a 20 for 2 wounds on good old Gus here. Now, Gus also... I mean, we got an extra Benny, so we might as well...
Ooh, he's got a fucking high spirit.
I'm gonna make one other attempt, and we'll just stick with whatever lands here. Wow, exactly the same roll. Yeah. Hey, sometimes the dice want you to succeed once but not get a raise, and you know what? I gotta respect that. Alright, yeah, you just got a good clock in on Gus, and you can see like blood dripping from the cut. Still holding strong. Do you want to do any movement? Because technically you
I'm
could.
gonna stay here because I don't want to lose anyone.
Alright, Barry, at the start of your turn, go on ahead and roll spirit. You can just in the chat click the roll spirit to roll for your unshake. Oof.
Nope.
Unfortunately, because you have 1 wound, that
Yeah.
does not succeed.
Yeah.
So if you want, you could just spend a Benny to break out. You don't have to re-roll. You could, anytime you want to spend a Benny, you could just break out of the shake.
All right, I'm just gonna
or,
spend a Benny then.
All right. So on the bottom left, you can just click the little icon and then remove the shake in here.
Okay.
For the record, because Gus is shaken and the bear is not in reach, you can't make attacks of opportunity while you are shaken. So you are free to move about however you see fit here.
Okay. Barry is going to move this way. And he can still cast a spell, right? So,
Yes.
he is going to cast Entangle on Gus.
Oh, my poor orc boy.
So let's see if this works.
Go on ahead and target Gus, and then... Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Is bound
Wow.
and entangled.
Nice. And then I still have Oak.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so-
my poor little orc.
And so Oak is going to natural bite. I think I'm gonna do multi-action. No, I'm not gonna do multi-action. I'm just gonna roll.
Oh!
Beautiful. What a
Oh my
sick
god.
Alright,
Okay.
so I go on ahead and roll raise damage.
1 wound.
So... I mean, that is a hit plus a wound. And, I mean... he's got 1 Benny left, and we'll try to soak it. It's a fail. And you hit him on the other hit, so go on ahead and roll raise damage again.
Okay. Nope.
That is enough to shake, but because he's already shaken,
Yeah.
that is another wound.
Oh.
So, 3 out of 3 wounds, 1 more wound. Dude, my blood Gus is having a bad day. He wanted to go get a sheep. All he did, he wanted to go into a village, get a sheep. You guys had to make things difficult. Came back with the sheep, and now look at him, shaking in his boots, completely cut up, and also just completely held by some plants. Like, let my man go home.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so Adelphi is
Oh, I forgot to
assessing-
use apes. Once again, they're just gonna,
They're a bit slow.
yeah. With the run, they're at least +1.
So Adelphi is going to assess the situation. She sees that It That Preaches is doing pretty okay on their own. So it's not too worried. And then it just sees Seraphina and Barry and Oak just fucking start demolishing. Just start demolishing this orc dude, and she's like, all right. So she's gonna keep going. Otherwise she was gonna turn around and help her friends, but all right. So with this terrain, can I move like this way, or would I have to go up here?
You can fly. You can go wherever you want.
Because there's a tree in the way, so I'm thinking I can't go just directly this way, right?
Yeah, the higher part of the tree would not, like the...
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can like take a shortcut and try to like cut through this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. This way. And we're gonna go ahead and do burst again. Well, let's roll. Oof.
Oh, man.
Oof.
Oh.
They're so
Oof.
sexy.
Ooh, ooh.
So real quick, put your cone template down and
Okay, so
align it up so that it
starts-
targets them. It'll start from in your square.
Starts from me, okay, and then so I would click it and then move the rest of it over, right?
Yeah, so if you click the cone template in the chat and then you
Mhm.
bring it into, and I think if you scroll, it'll change the orientation.
Oh, there we go. Oh, beautiful. There we go.
That is beautiful.
All right, so.
And
again,
then,
same-
yeah, go on ahead and roll me raise damage.
That looks like a fart cloud.
It kind of does, I do agree. I was not trying to mention it, but it really does.
I mean, hey, we don't know what she's doing over there.
Don't
so
fart on him.
that's 1 wound. And, I mean, we got an extra penny, so I gotta at least try. Okay. He shakes it off just fine. This 8, I'm not spending a penny on that. And this guy gets... Alright, so one of my apes down, the other ape quivering in his boots, and Noak is just like, I gotta get out of here. His determination to not deal with y'all's shenanigans. And he is going to turn around, and before he heads inside, is going to target Adelphi with a stun.
Okay.
So this is an opposed roll. For you, I believe it's going to be Vigor, but I will roll first.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I get a raise, you roll at -2. So let's see what happens. A 5 is enough to at least force the roll.
Okay.
But I'm gonna spend a penny because I can do that. Okay, that's worse. But what if we spent another one? Damn!
Go back to a 5.
That was
What are you?
I was just taking it because it didn't subtract it.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
I mean, we accept the 5, right? That's just what it's gonna be. So you're gonna roll Vigor without the -2.
Okay.
If you fail, you are stunned. And then my man is getting out of here.
So just roll bigger.
Yeah, it's in the attributes section.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not letting me click it.
I think you have to click the text, like the first
Oh,
die.
there we
One of
go.
those.
There we go. I got it.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
love that.
that's a complete and utter success. Yeah, the spell, you see it just fires off at you, and you just completely resist it, and he's just like, okay, and just turns around and runs into his house.
Appa, real quick.
Yeah.
Healing uses 3 power points, right?
Yes.
Because it only subtracted 1 automatically. Okay, I'll adjust that.
Oh, I think this was an issue I had with one of the things. It needs to be set, but yeah, healing is a 3 cost. My boars moving up, and they're going to wild attack with the Genga bonus.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Here's the first one, damage with the
Oh, boy.
raise.
Oh.
Look at all these dice on screen.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so the first one causes a wound.
Also good.
The easiest soak of his life.
Alright. Okay. Second boar. Once again, also gonna wild attack. Show me. It's a regular hit. It's okay. I've seen this explode on these. Oh
Yes,
my
it explode.
goodness, that's another one.
Mm.
I'll soak again.
Oh.
Oof,
Oh, no.
unfortunately.
I mean, you can re-roll that.
I could.
Yeah, I mean, you have 3 bennies left.
I won't.
Alright. That means it is your turn. Go on ahead and roll a spirit roll to see if you unshake.
Spirit roll, spirit roll, spirit roll.
It's in the chat. You could just, you should have a button
Oh.
that says roll spirit.
Does it? Roll, spirit roll, spirit. Where is it?
In the chat box on the right above, it says
Oh,
like
there
the
it is.
epic is-
Oh boy.
Yo!
Yeah, that is a solid success. You are unshaken. You can act semi-normally. You're going to be rolling at -1 because you have a wound.
Am I still targeting the ape? Yeah, I am. This over.
Oof. Unfortunately, that is not enough to hit. So you can still make another wound. My bad. You still make another heavy shield or bite attack.
Making another one.
Oh, a 7 is enough to still hit the ape. All right, go on ahead and roll regular damage then. Now my ape lives these.
No! Wait, no, can I Benny?
Yeah, you can Benny it.
I'm Bennying it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, that, okay. There goes my poor little ape. I still have one left over there who's I was gonna say holding strong, but I guess he's shaking, so he's not really holding that well. As, yeah, you just clock that ape in the head with your shield, and the spikes just dig into it. Killing one of my poor little, my poor little apes.
Hydrate.
Oh!
Oh, hydrate.
All I'm gonna say, it could have been peaceful. He had to go for the fluffy baby.
Yep. Is that your turn? Or you want to do any movement?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Alright, let me start off by rolling to unshake, and we hit these.
You do hit these.
Alright, I mean, this is an awkward situation.
Bad situation.
Gus could surrender.
We'll roll a spirit roll to see how he's faring in this. I mean, hey, the dice say he succeeds and stands, then he succeeds and stands.
Poor thing.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna go after Seraphina. He's not gonna get too crazy here, and is going to make a wild attack since he is already vulnerable. I've seen us raise on these,
I've seen him fail.
but what if?
You rolled again. And fail again.
Okay, I gotta see my other picks. Hey, I had to go for the attempt. Alright, on the other end of the spectrum, we've got our bear, who is going to do much the same here. We're gonna go for a claw attack. Wild attack against Seraphina. Nah, I'm not gonna ban you on my bear, dude.
He just
That's a
elegantly
troll.
moves out of the way.
Oh, you got a 5 of spades, but I guess because it's 5 or lower, you get to draw another card. And 10 of clubs. This... Oh, wait. It gave you the...
He gave you a 5. That's not right.
Let's see.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Type. Figure
There we go.
everything out.
Okay, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things is that, I believe at the end of the round, Gus gets to make a free strength roll to break out of Entangle.
Yeah.
And, I'm just gonna go for free on their turn as detailed under Bound and Entangled. Oh, okay. Interesting. It doesn't say at the end of their turn. It just says that they may break free as per detailed. But anyway, I'm gonna roll real quick to see, and then you will have to pay 1 power point if you want to keep it active. So do you want to pay the power point to keep the entangle on Gus, or do you not want to pay that and just let it drop?
I'm just gonna let it drop.
Okay. No longer. bound and entangled. Still vulnerable though, because he wild attacked.
Okay, with Oak, I'm getting a natural bite.
Alright.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh.
Huh.
Well.
Huh. Yeah, that's a
Oh
huh.
my god.
Huh.
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 You wanna need some bennies to sow some moons, right?
Nah, he's dead.
Rip,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm not. I got 2 pennies left, and my poor Gus. Hey, all I'm saying is, should have failed that spirit roll. That's his fault. That's not mine. That's not on me. I mean, if succeeded on his spirit roll and decided to stay, the dice will be what they are. That's his fault. I
Alright.
accept no responsibility for Gus's death. I put that on y'all. This Oak just takes a chomp out of my little poor boy.
Yep. Oak has
Bite gang.
Oh my gosh.
Alright. And then
30 damage, dude.
yeah.
What even happened? How did we get there on the math?
I don't know.
8, 8, 7, 5. Okay. Yeah, whatever, dude.
And then I think I don't know if I want Barry to do anything.
I mean, that's fine.
So I think
say
Barry,
Oak is technically a part of your turn, right? So.
yeah. So I think Barry is just going to wait it out.
All right. That brings us over to you, Adelphi. You've got a shaken ape in front of you, and Noak has ran into the house.
Can I fly past the ape?
Yeah.
Or would I...
Shaken characters don't get attacks of opportunity because they actually can't take actions or attack.
So I'm gonna just go fly into the house.
Yeah, he just looks back. He's like, "Get out of my house." He just like points at the door. He's just like, "Get away."
I would much rather do this without killing you.
Same.
Hand over the wand.
Go on ahead and give me a persuasion. I don't know if Noak knows how bad things are going outside because he's been focused on running. So I'm gonna roll a notice roll, and if he rolls well, I'll let you roll it at another +2. But if he rolls poorly, he doesn't actually. Okay, yeah. So I'll go on ahead and roll it, and then we'll add 2 to the final total.
Okay.
So that would be a 7, which is still a success. So you see he like looks back at you. He's like, And you see he just like kind of like reaches for his pocket and then kind of just throws it in your direction. Not so much for you to like catch it. He's very clearly still going to like run away. And he's hoping that by throwing the wand at you, you're appeased and he doesn't have to deal with this.
Alright, what she's going to do... Well, she's already moved, so she can't move towards it to go pick it up or anything. Let's see. She is going to still cast confusion on him because she doesn't want him pulling anything.
Ooh.
So that is a medium.
It's just, I mean, it's just gonna hit him, so you could just,
Yeah, that does
yeah,
not.
I say, no matter what happens. Oof. Yeah.
Oh.
Distracted or vulnerable?
Well, distracted.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't want to pull anything. So, alright, so, and that'll be the end of her turn.
Alright, I've got 1 bear left. Once again, I'm gonna roll a spirit roll. Hey, these guys, they're
We
persistent.
did it once.
Alright, here is... Alright, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna wild attack, I'm just gonna do a regular attack.
Oh, that's what happens.
Should have wild attacked, huh?
Oh,
Oh,
Oh no!
well, it's time for me to also soak. Yeah, I'll just soak the one, that's fine.
Alright, yeah, so you see, the bear is like, dude, this has gone bad. I don't get paid enough to die. So he's like, I'm just gonna go for it, and just with a big swipe of its claw, you see it actually makes contact, slams down on you, just cutting across your skin, parts of, through parts of your armor. And then, bye.
Just bounce.
It is no longer vulnerable.
Bear.
Alright, so go on ahead and roll Spirit to unshake at the start of your turn. Ooh, unfortunately, those 2 wounds. You can just spend a Benny to break out.
Yeah.
If you want it.
Oh, that's not what I pressed reroll for some reason. But that works, right?
Yeah.
I will cast healing on myself. To try and heal some of these wounds.
Oh, yeah. That's the downside of having wounds.
That's what happens. Yeah. I'll use a Benny to try and reroll ones.
I remember what happened for the heal, by the way. Whenever you fail a spell, it always takes 1, and because Barry is small, right?
Oh, okay.
It applied the -6 penalty, even though we know it didn't need to,
Right.
and that's why it did 1. That makes sense.
Well, I guess I'll just stay from this wound. And then I'll move towards where the stuff might be going, possibly.
All right. He's having a bad day. He's distracted. Okay. Well,
Bad day no more, I guess.
yeah. So he's going to attempt to run. I mean, he is distracted.
He's got some flight in his fight.
Into this room that has no exit?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that it has no exit.
We don't know that, but
All right, my boars. You know what? They're gonna get spirit rolls because this is shaped out pretty poor, and you've been eating the heads of their friends. All right, yeah. So you know what? They're a part of the Bale crew. So I don't know if you want to make an attack of opportunity. You only get 1.
I want to make an attack of opportunity.
All right, go on ahead and target whichever one you want, and because they're both running, so
Targeted it. How do I do the attack of opportunity?
it's just a regular attack of your choice.
Oh, sweet,
So
really?
you could do it with either a bite, you can do it with your heavy shield, doesn't matter.
You know what's been working for me so far?
Biting people.
Fighting people.
Ooh. Oh! Shout outs to being vulnerable. So that's a hit. Go on ahead and give me regular damage. As, dude, my poor little boar. He just wanted to leave.
Well, he's
I just
left
wanna,
in this
you know the scene from Godzilla where like he rips apart the lizard's mouth? That's me with the boar.
Alright. Bye!
Bye.
Bye! Alright. I've got 2 spirit rolls to make, potentially. Okay, you failed a spirit roll. This ape is just shaken. Alright, it that preaches.
Do I know that he's over here on like this bridge thing?
Yeah, I think that generally people are pretty aware of like their surroundings and what's happening. You would have heard
and
like
this-
running across the
Okay, is it floating or would I be able to like?
yeah,
start
this is
punching
all
through the wall?
above
Damn
above the ground. Yeah.
Is there anything nearby I can throw besides the sheep?
Is there anything nearby I can throw besides the sheep?
Well, there would be bodies of the other dead animals, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I want
There-
to fling one of the bodies.
Alright. So what I'm gonna do... I can technically make this work. 1 second. I guess you have some options. Well, they're probably about even weight. So this would be an improvised weapon. And I'm gonna say heavy. So I added a new item into your thing, which is the improvised weapon heavy. Now for the record, I don't think that these go particularly far. Yeah. So improvised weapons are 1, 2, and 4. So you'd have to, let's see, like walk underneath, get here, and yeah, you could throw the body up and try to hit him. But
Okay.
it's gonna be honestly, it would be a target of 8.
Which he totally did.
I have faith in myself. I can do this. If that preaches, he do be upsetty spaghetti. Oh, hold up.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's happening.
It got lagged on me when I was going.
No, it's supposed to be. It would have been athletics, but go on ahead and
Oh.
roll, and I'll just. I mean, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say we'll just see anyway.
Benny.
Almost.
Yeah. Target number of 8 for the maximum range. So yeah, you just. Did you grab like the boar's body?
I thought I grabbed an 8 body.
Oh, okay. You grab the 8 body. I imagine you just like grab it by its like arm or like one of its limbs or whatever. Kind of do a little twirl and fling it up, and you guys just watch as like the body goes up like 10 feet, and it just comes back down and just once again slams lifelessly into the ground.
Oof.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get it next turn.
He got a joke.
Oh, that little. I got nothing.
Oh, for once, I'm pretty far down in the order.
Yeah, why does Seraphina not show?
Yeah, I would have been instead of the bear. Look at the order. I would have drawn the red joker. Unbelievable.
Oh, hold on.
No, they're still ape and boar, even though they left.
Oh, weird. It's here. Let's see if this fixes it.
Yeah, and the bear left as well, didn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's
Alright.
still an 8.
You got a
technically.
queen.
Oh, I was thinking a bear then. My bad.
But the bear isn't there.
All right, yeah. I mean, the bear at this point has run off. I think it's pretty safe to say that with it running every turn, it's fully off screen. It used its super high initiative to peace out, which brings us to it that preaches.
Improvised weapon heavy. Damn it.
Yeah,
Hold up.
it's not easy, that's for sure. So you get penalties for it being an improvised weapon, and then you have to hit a target number of 8. It's a tough one.
I want to hit him with monkey.
All right. So I think at this point, since Mr. Nope would be next, he's gonna run in and just lock himself inside the room. Everybody who's left in initiative is pretty much done. The ape will run if y'all will let it. Noke is locked itself inside its room, so I don't know how y'all want to handle that situation. But yeah, I think at this point we're basically out of initiative. So I guess the first question is like, what are we doing with this ape? Because that would be sort of the first order of business. This boar is running.
I would have probably just run over here, so I would have been blocking it, right? But also,
I mean, it is an ape, right? It could just
Yeah.
climb off the side.
If I see it climb off, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna bother with it.
I'm gonna chase it, just to inspire fear.
Yeah, I don't think you'd catch up. Definitely wouldn't. It's. Oh wait, y'all's pace is the same, so it would depend a little bit on the luck of the drop. But I mean, it would for sure just run off into the distance, wanting no part of what any of y'all are selling. And Finthier is once again just trapped inside the pin, and Noak is trapped inside the room.
Appa, since I used healing earlier and it failed, can I still cast healing on my other wound?
So I think the healing power. Let's see. For the purposes, I know that with the healing skill, you can't attempt the same wound. I don't know if that's true of the healing power, and I don't think it's necessary for me to check that right at this moment. So we'll just say yes. If you want to keep casting the healing power on yourself, you can.
Okay, I will. I'm sure that this time I'm gonna get it. Hold on, I'm sure that if I cast it again, I'm gonna get it. Don't worry.
Did I traumatize the goat?
Hold on, I'm sure.
You know it might be better for you to just try to soak it instead of casting healing.
No, don't worry.
Casting healing.
He can't soak it. You can only soak
See, I told you I had it.
when you take the damage.
Look at that, with a raise, that's 2 wounds.
Oh, you would have had to have spend a thing to keep it up, it looks like. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Wound's
would've had to
gone.
spend Benny. I'll spend the Benny then. I didn't even notice that. Oh, did it automatically take my Benny?
It shouldn't have. You have one. Oh, wait. Yeah, you still have one left over there.
Okay. That's gone now. 4 PP.
Alright.
So I get 2 PP back.
You guys have the wand. Noak's in his room. It's low pressure situation at this point. You guys are free to do whatever needs to be done. So what y'all got for me? Who's doing what?
Adelphi has the wand, and
Yes.
she is the wizard of the party, so she's going to go ahead and make her way back out this way. And since she can fly, she's going to fly around to the sheep. And she's going to remember from I did before how to undo this.
All right. So my good old sheepy boy. He's no longer a sheep. And now Finthier is
Wow.
back.
Oh,
His
he
elven form.
And
And still in the pen, you see he has to does the stretches his body and kind of flexes a bit. After being 2 years as a sheep, he's finally back in a humanoid form, and has a bit of a coughing fit initially. And it's just like, dude, grass tastes so bad, and walks over to the end of the pen and lets himself out. Thank you so much. Oof.
Of course.
Oh man, you see, he kind of just takes a long breath. It's just like, it feels so good to be back. I never knew when this day would come, but yeah, I gotta say, if you can transform into an animal, I was gonna say don't be a sheep, but I guess really it was that I was a sheep and I was caged up. But whatever the case may be, I get my house back. Yeah, I'll go inside and see what all of Nook has done and try to arrange some payment or something. For the record, can I have my wand back?
Oh, yes, I was gonna hand it over.
Cool. Appreciate it. All right, let's go on ahead and head inside, and I'll figure out some payment or something. And he's gonna go the long way around, of course. And
Appa, does any part of this building right here touch the ground?
yeah, they're all on a tree,
All right, I'm
or
gonna climb
multiple,
up.
and they have posts and things holding them up.
I'm gonna climb up along one of the posts and just get in there with Nook.
Okay, using your wall walker to.
Yeah,
All right.
I still hungry.
Oh, hello, buddy.
All right. I mean, the door is locked, so if you want to get in, you either have to thievery or give me a a strength roll to try to break it down.
All muscle, all power! How do I roll strength?
It's just one of the attributes.
Oh, there we go. I can just click on strength, right?
Yeah.
Or what should be a crit fail?
I mean, with the 5, yeah, you hit the door, and while the door itself doesn't crumble, you see like the hinges kind of bend and snap, and the door like holds in its position, but with like a simple push, you could just knock it over at this point.
All muscle, all power!
You just give it another hit.
I give it another hit.
Yeah, and this time you just watch the door just like fold back and knock over, and you see Nook is in there. He just kind of like lets out a yelp, and she's like, "Hey, you guys want?" He's got both of his hands up, like, I gave the one. You guys won. You're leaving.
You soft baby.
Yeah, I'm a soft baby.
I'm gonna grab him.
I think he's gonna try to resist, so this will be opposed athletics or strength. He is not athletic or strong.
Let's do strength.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I got an 8, so
Hmm.
go on ahead and roll your strength over here. Hey, I mean, he's a little squirmy boy. Is you like trying to wrap around? You see, he's just running around the room, just like constantly trying to get away from you. And he just like yells over at Seraphina, like, "Hey, get him! We agreed."
Break or come with me.
What do I roll to knock Noak unconscious? You know, like just hit him on the back of the neck so he goes unconscious.
Just give me a just roll with your weapon.
With my weapon, let's
Yeah,
go.
and the
Poor
damage
guy.
is it would be at -2. So as he's running about, yeah, I mean this is gonna be a hit. So go ahead and roll a raise, and we'll subtract 2. And if this causes wounds, then I mean it's shaken, right? So at this point he's standing still enough, I would say, for it that breaches to just grab a hold of him. So he's not unconscious, but now
Poor
much
guy.
like the sheep, it that breaches is just carrying Noak.
I'm gonna bring him to
Yeah. Take him to the wizard.
Wizard. I'm gonna hold him on the ground. I'm gonna demand fluffy baby.
So yeah, you bring Noak over, and as Fantheo's going through his stuff and sees you bring him over, he's like, I mean, we've already succeeded in the task, to
Fluffy
be honest.
baby.
He kind of like looks over at Noak, and it's like, just send him to the village or whatever. To be honest, I don't particularly care what.
Fluffy baby. Make.
He looks over at Adelphi. He's like, is he always like this?
Yes, very much so.
Why
I'm
not
gonna leave
humor
y'all to
him?
mingle with it. These wands have charges, and to be honest, I don't want to spend it on something useless like this.
Makes sense.
So I mean, I figure if y'all just take him to the village and like explain his doings or whatever, they'll do something about him, exile him or whatever. I highly doubt he's coming back here. I mean, even if he does, right, I'll know what he's up to. So it's a failing endeavor.
Eat that preaches, we will find you another fluffy baby.
Eat.
To be fair, if y'all were to
No.
find another caster to make him into a fluffy baby, that also functionally works. Y'all can just hold on to him until you get to that point.
Consume.
No.
Yes.
No.
And
We
while y'all
don't
are
need
having
more
this discussion,
people.
Barry's like, please, no more people. Yeah, Fantheo's just like going through it. It's been a while since I've actually been in here, and Noak has changed some stuff, so he's like having to go through and actually figure out what all this stuff. Eventually, he comes back out. He's like, "Hey, you should have money on him. For the record, you can just take that, and we'll consider that part of the payment." While I like look for some other stuff, and like continues going about like scrounging around the house trying to find some more things to potentially offer as like part of the payment.
Yeah. Adelphi is going to look at if that preaches and be like, search him.
Eat him.
Search him. Barry, look for money.
I got it.
Seraphina will help pat down Oak.
Yeah, and
Barry's like, say no more.
Yeah, and Barry's gonna search all the pockets, get his little body in
Yeah.
there, pull out all the coins, toss them towards Oak, and Oak is gonna paw them into a little pile.
Yeah, I imagine much like how horses have like saddlebags and things on them, Oak is the same, but it's really just like a bunch of pouches of like coins. And so it's just, he's got like a bag that has actually a bunch of other little pouches in them of various denominations of currencies. And Barry just like, goes in there, grabbing a pouch and just flies it over, opening the bag and dropping it in there. And Oak, as per usual, is just like, yeah, okay, this is the deal.
Yep, this is normal.
And Finithir comes back out with 3 separate pouches of bags. He's like, yeah, so this looks like a pretty good amount. He's been holding on to some money for the payment for those guys, and since they're no longer useful to anyone, you guys can basically have them. And kind of just like holding them out, and sees what you're doing with Oak, and it's like, oh, is that how we do things? And like makes his way over to put the pouches in Oak's saddlebag.
The cat keeps our money for us.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
guys are
faithful companion.
yeah, what an interesting sort of band of adventurers that you guys have here. Yeah, he's like, just with the saddlebag open, just drops the pouches in there and pats Oak on the head and is like, woof. Man, I super appreciate it. I don't have need for adventures particularly often. I guess maybe one day if I do or if I need something, I'll be sure to give you guys a call. To be honest, I don't make the most amount of money out here, so he was up to some endeavors and I kind of gave you that. I'm just really a researcher. But
Yes,
I don't know, maybe
so
I'll have need for y'all.
About that, I know you've been out of researching for 2 years while you've been a sheep, but could you please show me what you've been doing? She's like too like curious about what the heck is going on. Like she wants to know, like, just please show me as much as you can. Like, she will take up time just looking through all of his research notes and everything like that.
Yeah, so his whole shtick...
Unless someone wants to stop her.
Yeah, his whole shtick is that he also... He has a specialty in transmutation and was teaching Noke. But he was teaching Noke pretty slowly. I mean, he's an elf, right? So he's like, yeah, we'll do things at a nice pace. You'll learn what you need to learn. And Noke has been under his study for years, and it's like, dude, like, I don't have 300 years to learn this study. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta get the ball rolling. And
Yeah.
the entire time, Fanthier's like, no, you're rushing. Calm down.
Yeah.
And eventually, Noke just kind of got tired of it, and that was when he was like, fine, if you don't want to teach me, I'll take things in my own hands, and ended up stealing the wand and cast it on Finithir. But Finithir has been studying for many decades at this point, and has numerous research books and scrolls that are dedicated to various fields of transmutation, and he's been very successful in his field, and is actually the one who made the wand that was stolen and is now back in his possession.
Mhm.
So overall, like, that's really what his field is. I don't know how much Adelphi is interested in that specific school of magic, but that's really what his focus has been. And while he can cast other spells, like, at the end of the day, 98% of his research is in this one specific field.
She is mostly curious about any type of magic, like the reason why she became a wizard in the first place, not taking magic from her goddess, is because she wanted to learn down in this realm how people learned magic. And also, being a Celestine, and relatively new to being here, she doesn't understand how normal human mortal time works. So very much like an elf, she would stay here for decades, just poring over all of
Yeah.
his research, if possible. And I think the rest of her party also already kind of knows that about her. So unless they want to try to get her away, she's gonna be staying here. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, for however long you guys decide to stay before you opt to continue your adventuring, Finnedir is a very excited researcher and very proud of his work. It would spend any time that you guys are really interested. Of course, he's got to like reorient his housing and things of that sort to get back to the way that he's comfortable with it. But at the end of the day, like, he's really proud of his work and is very interested in showing any of it off. It doesn't really have many people to talk to, especially over the past 2 years, right? So I was really just pleased to have any sort of company. And I imagine, some time goes by before the group is like, okay, it's time to actually go get paid and do other jobs. As you guys sort of head back out to the village for probably just a few more stays before continuing on your adventuring to go, continue helping out other individuals and making some good money along the way. And yeah, that was a wild sheep chase.
Yay!
Yay!
That was amazing.
Let's go.
That was so much
Barely
fun.
didn't die. He survived. Barely.
Yeah, we survived.
Yeah,